locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Happer and Schaefer.
Says I take no joy in life. I can see that.
Coming at you live from Coppel Chevrolet GMC Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Why are you yelling at me?
Whatever, make me a bicycle clown.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Connor Happer.
You might want to look away for this.
Mike Schaefer.
My boy's awake and smart.
This is Happer and Schaefer.
Good morning. Welcome in. Day number 5 of Happer and Schaefer. I probably will stop saying the amount of days it's been after today.
I don't know. Do you think that Monday doesn't warrant a day 6?
I think you probably, proudly announced that you've entered week 2.
Okay.
And that we didn't get fired yet.
True.
And that's
I'm not worried about us getting fired.
No, I'm not either.
I don't think they could handle us getting fired.
I feel like the response has been mostly good.
Yeah. People now love the spillover, so that, that in itself will keep us employed.
Yeah, I guess not that people's responses would necessarily dictate what we did, but I think the response has been good.
Yeah, I agree.
So here we are. Happy Friday, everyone. I don't know. We're now locked inside the studio, so I won't know for another 3 hours if it has rained or not. But it looked like it was going to storm pretty badly.
We can, periodically, when we take breaks, we can go out there and take a look.
That is true. It is possible to leave the studio during the break.
But sometimes you have to, as I was saying to you yesterday. Like I
was getting a little bright.
I was getting a little, I don't know. I'm not claustrophobic, but I needed a change of scenery when afforded the opportunity to walk away from the microphone.
There's no doubt about it.
I was taking advantage of it.
That's fair. All right. As always, we want to hear from you guys on the show. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Sartor Heyman text line. We are streaming live on the Sartor Heyman video stream. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. So you can go there. But let's throw it back. Let's go back to our recruiting hour days and take a phone call right off the bat. It's Mike on the line.
Not Michael?
I think it's Mike. Hey, Mike.
Morning, guys.
Mike.
Hey,
he's back.
Got a few questions for you. You guys, or maybe Mike Sauter, had mentioned that you thought there was a chance Devon Hall might sign before the season started. And I know it's a long ways away till a lot of things can happen. But do you still feel good about him? What's your latest thoughts on Maverick Noonan? And of the 3 or 4 guys that are juniors in the in-state class, who has the best chance to join Bramer as a 4-star? Gatula, Maverick Noonan, or I can't even think of the 4th guy. Tuioti.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, if you guys want to do a promotion, like have a free trip to Hawaii for the listener that answers this trivia question correctly. I just came across something in the 60s. Nebraska played 2 spring games outside Memorial Stadium. Wondering if you guys knew where they played. Thanks.
Okay, Mike, thank you for the call. A lot to get through there. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I wish I could go to Hawaii.
Also, I want to make it clear we do not have a trip to Hawaii to offer. So it's not like if you call in right now, you're gonna get that. I don't know the answer, so I don't have any idea. But
okay,
that could be Googleable.
So the 2 questions are about Davon Hall,
and
then which of the 2023 guys could join Ben Bramer as a 4-star,
and also general thoughts on Maverick Noonan.
Okay, yeah. So
this is for you, Schaefer.
We'll start with Davon Hall. So I talked to him at the end of July when we were out, when the recruiting hour was out at the event that Steve Warren had going on, the Media Days event. We had him on the show. First of all, just a genuinely great kid. I mean, he's going into his sophomore year and he's incredibly put together. I mean, he's physically is incredibly put together. I mean, he's basically 6'2", probably close to 200 pounds at this point, and is just rock solid muscle. And then on top of that, like he's a really great, thoughtful kid. I mean, Mike Sauter will talk about this as well, but he has definitely gotten used to the attention he's received in terms of interviews and gotten better
Yeah,
with that.
pretty
and
polished.
very polished at the
Yeah.
15, I think is what he is right
Yep,
now.
going into his sophomore year, right?
Right. And so that's really impressive. I don't think he's going to commit anytime in the next 8 days, but I do feel like Nebraska is still the leader on the board.
Do you feel like he's close to committing?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, when we had that conversation the other day, I think he still wants to see what other schools are out there. I mean, I think Oklahoma's keeping an eye on him. They're not ready to make an offer yet to him. But obviously Caden Helms went there. He has 2 of his teammates that are going to Auburn and to Oklahoma. And so it's like you can go places from Bellevue West.
No doubt.
And I don't say this as any sort of joke, but he's young enough. Why wouldn't he take his time to figure out what the hell Nebraska is going to be?
Yeah, no.
I mean, I think he is a true Nebraska fan in the sense that he grew up rooting for the team.
If I remember correctly, the context that you mentioned it in that we talked about it in the other day was Davon Hall, Dominic Dylan Raiola, and how Nebraska's performance plays out this year, next year is going to be super important because we both think Nebraska is the potential leader for those guys at the moment. And it's very, very early, but it seems like
the connections are really strong.
They've gotten a nice jump on it. Yeah.
And I mean, just put it this way, if Nebraska wanders into a 7-5 season, shows progress, and then next year they're able to take 7-5 and go from that to, challenging for the Big Ten West, you've got a hell of a lot better case for 2 guys like that than you do right now.
Yeah, you just need some positive momentum.
I just don't think it would behoove a kid like that to make that sort of decision.
I wouldn't either.
I don't look for that out of Davon Hall early. I'm excited. I think I've locked in that I'm going to Bell West and Omaha Burke for the first game of the year. That'll be on next week on Thursday on this show on Friday. Next week, we'll be talking about it. We'll be talking about your game, Lincoln Pius and Lincoln East.
That's
is
correct.
Also on Thursday.
Get to see the top quarterback in the state.
Absolutely.
My guy.
It will be we'll be talking high school football here soon, which I'm excited about. And then sticking along those lines, before we dive into Maverick Noonan specifically, of those 3 guys that Mike mentioned that are in the 2023 class, the one, so Ben Bramer, I think, is going to be a top 247 player. I mean, I've talked to 24/7 Sports about this. He's well on their radar. It's just a matter of they need to see a little bit more film. They would love to see him in person. I don't know how likely that's going to be, but he would need to go to an event, either a 7-on-7 with Steve Warren's team or, a camp, and that would probably help his case. But they're well aware of how highly thought he is. So that is probably going to change in terms of him being a 3-star right now on 24/7 Sports. So Ben Bramer, of course, I think is a 4-star, and I think, as I said, a top 247 player. So then the next guy in that grouping for me, and you have Gunnar Gatula already committed to Nebraska, Maverick Noonan, who's got about 5 or 6 Power 5 offers, and Tatum Tuioti, who has, I think, 5 or 6 Power 5 offers as well. Different ones. He's got Ole Miss, Washington, Nebraska, Kansas State, and there's one other one in there for him. I would say out of that group, Maverick Noonan strikes me as the one that is the next highest.
Oh, interesting.
And the reason I say that, because I think it's pretty close with him and Gunnar Gatula.
I was going to say Gatula.
Yeah. Either way, and I know Rivals already has Gunnar Gatula as a 4-star. I think Maverick Noonan's pedigree, obviously having a dad that played in the NFL, all of that, and then the work ethic that he already sort of has is really, really good. And he's just going into the sort of year where I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about Maverick Noonan as maybe the best pass rusher in the state by the end of the year.
Interesting.
And so if you get to that level and you're as good as he could potentially be, and he can put up good testing numbers, I just think that the way that the pass rush is viewed, and it's no different with an offensive lineman, especially one like Gatula that looks like he could be a future left tackle. But I would go Noonan over Gatula right now, but that could certainly change because, as you know, I've been high on Gunnar Gatula for a while, and you certainly have, and we've seen him at Lincoln Southeast. So I would probably put those 2 out front with Noonan the highest for me at this point in time. But it's close. I could easily be swayed into the other category.
I tried to find information on the 1968 spring games online, and it returned 0 things.
Oh, man. Did he say 68 or in the 60s?
I thought he said 68.
Okay.
It's hard. I need a pen and paper when Mike calls so I could write some
I
stuff
started opening up a text document and just writing down keywords so I know which things to move from.
Yeah, we usually we usually hit them all. The trivia question is a total stumper, though.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
And we haven't gotten any feedback on the text line from people who heard it and remembered either or knew.
Yeah, I like where in Lincoln in the 60s would they have played a spring game? And would the spring game have amounted
Seacrest?
to the same level of interest in the 60s?
No, not at all.
When did so that's actually, this is where we need to get Mike Babcock on the line. Because as a Nebraska
Definitely.
historian, he would be able to tell us.
Yeah,
this.
he
Like,
would know.
when did the spring game become the spring game?
Well, I kind of feel like that was not that long ago.
Well, it definitely
In
was a
the
huge
mid-
deal in the 90s because I went as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, and it was a not, packed house in the way that there was 90,000
Well, wasn't
people
it
there,
wasn't it
but-
Bill Callahan who kind of made it a really, really big thing?
No, it was I mean, it was much larger before that because the spring game, especially in the 90s, was sort of the opportunity for people who lived outside of Lincoln and Omaha.
Well,
or
that's how
didn't have
I always
access-
thought
yeah,
of it.
didn't have access to tickets.
Because
Like,
I didn't have tickets
Yeah.
as a kid, so I would go to the
Right.
spring games. Yeah.
and so I went, I want to say 98, 99. My brother went 97, 96. Like we were part of Boy Scouts and our Boy Scout troop would go down there every year because a former member of the troop was playing for the team at the time. And so then there was some behind the scenes access stuff. So we were doing it and it was a big deal at that time. I would guess maybe the late 80s would be sort of my guess. I mean, if people on the text line know, we don't have to get a Mike Babcock, but I'm going to fire off a text to him here.
Spring game attendances. Okay,
Yeah.
so Mike has followed up on the text line, and he said one of them was by the way, is in the 60s, like you said.
Yeah.
One of them was at Seacrest.
Okay. How old is Seacrest? I know it just recently got renovated.
Yeah, recently got renovated, but it's been
Right.
around. It's been.
Well, yeah, I just assumed that it was built in like the 80s.
I don't know. I don't
But
know.
it's obviously
exactly
been
for
around
sure.
a lot
Yeah,
longer
since
than
the
that.
60s. Text line says I think one was in Omaha at Creighton. That would be weird, and I mean, not particularly surprising. You want to spread it out into Omaha, but Brad from the Baldwin Shop says Chris. Shout out Chris from the Baldwin Shop is with me. He said he went to it at Seacrest. They were doing renovations to the stadium at the time.
Chris from the Baldwin
That
Shop.
would be a sight.
Yeah, Chris from the Baldwin Shop is a source, I believe.
They should do that. They should take. Volleyball did that for like their fall scrimmages.
It's a lot easier with a sport that has a lot less people going.
I mean, obviously, but I don't
just
think it's completely undoable.
Is there a stadium that they even have 20,000 capacity that they could go to in the state that isn't Memorial Stadium? Because UNK is probably 6.
Yeah,
if that. I don't even know. Rico is not here to tell us.
Well, Rico is here, but the spring game. Maybe it's not the spring game. Maybe it's just a practice.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad idea. Just take a practice out.
I mean, it's a lot to take your entire operation on the road.
I don't foresee it happening.
Maybe do one
in Wood River.
Sure.
Do one in the hometown of Scott Frost.
Yeah, I bet. I bet like Hastings College Stadium holds a lot.
Couple thousand.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Maybe more. You could do it at you probably wouldn't do it in Omaha, just because I don't know.
There's no reason to.
There's no reason to. You already kind of have as many people as you're going to have there,
right?
I suppose. TD Ameritrade Park.
Rico, how big is UNK's football stadium?
He said not that big.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we were looking for.
Right. I was guessing. I said 6. 6 is probably high.
Mike says they were both at Seacrest. They played. Okay, so they played two separate spring games, and they were both at Seacrest. Sean in Omaha says spring game got really big in the mid to late 90s. I used to lay down in a row and watch the game when I was in college in the early 90s. Smaller crowd, got big around 93, 94. Gotcha. There you go.
Makes sense. I mean, obviously the program got a lot bigger in the 90s too.
That would be really something.
5,250. I was close. I said 6.
Over 50. Yeah, 5,200 at Carney's. It would just be so interesting to see and so different and weird to see a Nebraska football crowd, even if it is just a spring game that's why it was so jarring last year. There was nobody at those games, but even to see just a few people, and I think for that Minnesota game last year, they ended up like there was a lot of people that went. It was friends and family the whole time, but there was like way more for that game. From what I saw. Did
Minnesota bring a bunch because of the proximity of the game?
I'm not sure. It felt like there was like 4 times as many people there for the Minnesota game as there was for, because I went to every home game last
that
year.
was the last senior game, so I bet they let a lot more people.
Yeah.
I bet every senior or every player basically had a bigger allotment.
And they cut off when they're playing the high school state championship games, they only have them sit in the East and West Stadium. But if they let them go around, it would just be sporadic, 5,000 people in a 90,000 seat stadium, which would just look really weird. It'd be really jarring.
Yeah.
They should do that though. Let the kids play in the North Stadium. I don't know, throw the football around. That's why it's all the more reason why they need to have an area where there's not bleachers.
I go back and forth on the state title game being in Memorial Stadium. I definitely get like the awesomeness if you're a kid and you get to finish your season there.
There's just no other venue.
I know that's the thing. There's no like mid-size place that would make sense.
I mean, you could do it at Kearney, but it just wouldn't be as special.
The Shrine Bowl moving to Kearney has been a great decision for them. I mean, that's gone really well.
And I love that. Like, you love a place. I mean,
and it sounds like Kearney's adopted it too.
Like, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
A place that really embraces it, like what Warner Park has done with the baseball tournament compared to Haymarket Park. I mean, just the over the years, hearing people's experiences at Haymarket for the high school baseball state tournament hasn't necessarily been fantastic. Warner Park's like, yeah, come on in. We'll embrace it. We're going to do the whole thing. We're going to make it up. And they play high school games there during the season. Like Papio South will play a couple games there and stuff like that. That's cool. So
really cool.
You want a place that embraces that.
I bet it's a good mound to throw off of.
They did a high school game at Rosenblatt, and Rosenblatt's last year was Central Prep. I think it was 2011 or 12 or 11. I guess it would have been the year after my senior year. And that was pretty cool. They wore throwback jerseys and did that whole thing. That was super fun. But yeah, I just don't know if there would be any other place besides Memorial Stadium where you could really get that feel for a high school championship game.
It's just there's no mid-sized venue that
unless you did it inside, which you wouldn't want to do.
Because what's the biggest stadium in Omaha for football?
Burke,
and that's
probably Buell, maybe.
Yeah,
at Millard South.
Seacrest could host it and it wouldn't be overwhelmed. It just sort of would lack like the punch of it being a championship.
Yeah, no,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
So
I don't know
in
what
Memorial
else
Stadium it stays.
Yep, that's where it goes. All right, let's take a quick break here. Start things off here on Happer and Schaefer. Plenty coming up on the show. We'll get into some Husker football. I want to take the temperature again. We're a week out from the first Football Friday. Which is extremely exciting, which means we're 8 days out from kickoff against Illinois. We have a little bit of national college football news with the scheduling alliance situation that feels like it's going to be announced soon. We'll get into that throughout the show today and more on Happer and Schaefer.
Follow Connor and Mike on Twitter at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer. You're listening to Happer and Schaefer.
Now that the heat waves are hitting, who wants to turn on their oven right now? Instead, get outside. Start cooking all your meals on a Traeger wood-fired grill. Fueled by all natural hardwood pellets, Traeger grills enhance everything you cook with incredible wood-fired flavor. And on top of that, Traeger offers the versatility to grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, barbecue. 6-in-1 versatility, all in one grill. The possibilities are endless. Pulled pork, a pizza, even a pie, cocktails, all fair game with the Traeger. Plus, Traeger makes cooking delicious food incredibly simple. Controlling the grill's temperature is as easy as using an oven. Just pick the temperature you want. The Traeger will do the rest of the work for you. And with Wi-Fi or technology, control your grill right from your phone using the Traeger app. That means you can monitor what you cook and change grill settings while you're out there doing yard work or lounging by the air conditioning. Learn more. Go to a local dealer or visit TraegerGrills.com/DP show.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
We're going to the West Coast here to talk to Vince in Napa, California. Vince, you're on early break. Go ahead, man.
As far as this turnover issue, I mean,
yes,
it's hard. I mean, obviously, it's no secret that that's been a major problem the last decade. Now, Sip, Jake, I mean, you guys will appreciate this one. The offense has been like the red hot chili peppers. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
We'll see a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this morning, and then another round of storms will be possible late this afternoon into this evening and could hold a bit of a severe weather threat We should top out near 90, drop to 64 for the low tonight. Much cooler tomorrow and comfortable with a high of around 83. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What is a clinical trial? They are medical research studies where volunteers receive potential drugs or other study treatments, so researchers and healthcare providers can learn how well they work.
What is a COVID-19 clinical trial?
They are for people who have recently tested positive for COVID and can potentially produce treatments to benefit millions of people.
How can you find out more?
CombatCovid.hhs.gov has information on trials for non-hospitalized and hospitalized people with COVID. CombatCovid.hhs.gov.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Prescription opioids can be addictive and dangerous.
Opioid pain medication took everything that I had. Nothing mattered more than getting my fix. Knowing that it could have been prevented makes it worse. It just takes one.
Prescription opioids. It only takes a little to lose a lot. Developed by CDC.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Don't you feel so free out here on the lake?
Not as free as this soda.
Where'd you get free soda?
Casey's. Buy 4 fountain drinks, 5th one's free.
I love free.
Well, then you'll love this. Bought this jerky. Got this free donut.
I love free donuts.
With Casey's Summer of Freedom sweepstakes, the more you buy, the more you can win, including free Lee Brice concert tickets. Casey's, here for good. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. For official rules, visit Casey's.com.
Stay at the top of your game with M-Drive, the supplement for driven guys who want to compete like they did when they were younger. Packed with clinically tested ingredients to help you fight back against aging, M-Drive supports healthy testosterone levels while adding vitamins and nutrients to boost energy and strength. You can go to mdrivedan.com. You get free shipping, 60-day guarantee. Or if you're out and about, Walgreens, Rite Aid, and Vitamin Shop. Join the community of guys refusing to let age slow them down. Don't let age beat you. Get M-Drive.
You're listening to Happer and Schaefer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here on Happer Schaefer, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I was going to talk about this a little bit earlier in the week when it was first reported. I believe it was first reported by Max Olson.
Yeah,
of
it
The
was.
Athletic, who will be a regular guest on this show on this day, but it is not today.
Yeah, he is not available.
Okay.
He is not available. It's not a Happer at Garth Brooks situation.
But he's just not available.
Yeah. There's a scheduling snafu.
So we'll talk National College Football with Max Fridays before the football Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait. Next week we're gonna be like making picks.
Yeah,
on
there'll be
Friday.
a modified pick.
How about this? Big Ten Power Rankings with tiers.
Yeah.
Did you think that I would forget about Big Ten Power Rankings with tiers?
My one question is, are we going to do that next week when there's only one game coming up, or do we do it the week after?
We have to preseason Big Ten Power Rank with tiers.
Good point. All right. I'm in. You know I'm in. I love tiers.
And I don't know why I do why we ultimately decided to do it on Fridays, but
I thought it was a Tuesday thing.
It usually would have been a like you would think it'd be a Monday or a Tuesday thing, right?
Or do you do an NFL thing on Tuesdays?
NFL reaction overreaction.
Okay.
Which we can still do.
I would like that. You know I'm an NFL guy.
I forgot about all these football things that we do.
Football is back.
Wow, this is amazing.
You know, I think I've said this a couple different times. I don't know how the text line feels. I don't know how people treated last year as much. I was certainly interested and certainly paid attention, but my level of interest and excitement for the upcoming just season of college football coming back and NFL coming back is much, much higher than last year.
Faisal, 5 times, good question on the Starter Heyman text line. Do you have the hype intro done? No.
I was actually thinking about that when we sat down here today on a Friday.
Do I have the hype intro started? Also, no.
Have you considered which song you plan to use?
I've had a lot of thoughts about that over the last several months, and
Okay.
I've narrowed it down, but it's still going to be a game time decision.
Would you assume I will know the song?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
We're going to go towards no on that.
Well, I'm not exactly sure which song it's going to be yet. Here's that usually goes. So I have this grand thought, and I really have it pretty narrowed down, and I have a pretty good idea of what I want a couple days before it's go time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I either run out of time or the thought that I had is too difficult to execute. And then I have this like mush of a thing.
Mush.
And then I hand it over to Mark. Mark. And I said, just say, Mark, finish this.
Yeah.
And then he does. And it's great.
I can't remember if it was 2019 when you were with Snow or 2020 with Tab. Like you did one that you were really proud of.
The first year of Frost was my best work.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't think I was with the station at that time. Because what I remember is the day that you were playing it. So obviously the recruiting hour came before. And then on your rundown for your own show, it was basically like, listen to this glorious 10-minute introduction and don't speak. It was just like, you were so proud.
Well, it started because it started in 2018 and I did it and it was really, really good. And I was like, there's just no way that I'm going to be able to do it better than it was last year. There's just not as much. There's just not there. It was a different feeling. Right. But yeah, 2019, we did one and then I was relatively proud of it. I still haven't accomplished what I wanted to accomplish on that front yet.
I feel like, I always joke that there's certain things that make like a writer, a capital J journalist.
Yeah.
This is the sort of thing that makes you a capital R, capital G radio guy.
Yeah.
Because I've been privy to being on other morning shows.
Hype montages.
And this is a huge deal for that individual as well.
Hype montages.
Yeah. And I mean, I enjoy listening to them. I don't know that I have the creative brain space to do it though.
Oh, I don't have, I obviously don't have enough to execute it. That's why I just hand it over to Mark at the end. But I have ideas.
Mark's just the closer. you pitch 6-7 strong innings, and then Mark comes in and finishes the game off.
Yeah, Don says on the text line, to sum up how things get done for Connor, start something, more specifically, like have an idea for something, and then hand it off to Rico or Mark to have it finished. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean,
100% true.
I'm on board with that. I think that's why we make a good show. I love ideas.
So we'll see.
I hate execution.
We will see next week how how early in the week we end up handing it off to Mark, or how far my ideas can take.
I'm excited. I want to know none of the details until I'm hearing it in my ears on Friday morning.
We could hide you from that. Also, Mark, if you're listening, just be ready. The Big Ten, Pac-12, and ACC are expected to make formal announcements about their alignment soon, perhaps as early as next week. Multiple sources told The Athletic. This is Nicole Auerbach reporting this morning. It's not yet clear how specific the announcement will be because there are many details to iron out, although administrators in all three leagues have stressed in recent conversations that the issues of governance can and should be front and center. So I think a lot of what gets talked about here is scheduling alliance, and that's a lot. That is a big part of it. It'll be cool for those leagues, which includes the Big Ten, to kind of just, have a lot of options as far as teams to schedule, and that's TV inventory. That raises your ultimate value for a conference / a TV contract, which is basically what we're talking about here. But on the more, like Nicole said in the story, governance side, we're talking about voting power, and that's what this move would do. Basically, this is the move to counter the SEC grabbing Texas and Oklahoma, because they're going to warrant a lot of TV money and a lot of power in that space. And the Big 12, by the way, this is the side story to this. If the Pac-12, Big 10, and ACC are announcing some sort of an alliance, and the SEC has already taken Texas and Oklahoma, so you've stolen the head from the Big 12 conference. As I said, when this first was kind of thought about, this would provide the death blow to the Big 12. I mean, this would be just about it. And then, you either go off for parts after that, or I don't know what happens to those teams, to be honest with you, or those schools.
Yeah, well, it just feels like they're just kind of left out in the cold unless there's another run to add to a conference. But it really is, I think we briefly talked about this, or it's in a different conversation I've had, but it feels like the schools within these conferences are like, look, we're getting good cuts of money here, and there's nothing we're going to add that's going to bring in that much more TV money.
Yeah, as far as it, like, they can't afford to look at it inside the box unless it's the Big Ten adding Notre Dame, which would obviously add a ton of value when their next TV deal comes up, which I believe is in 2 years.
Doesn't Notre Dame count with the ACC anyways in this thing?
Maybe.
So it feels like Notre Dame is protected in all of this because of their own alliance with the ACC.
Yeah, but I mean, do they have it written up in a contract where they have to schedule so many ACC teams?
Yes, I think they do.
They do?
Yeah, it's defined that this basically goes through. I'll look up the specifics of it, but it goes for a while because they're a full-fledged member in every other sport but football. So I don't remember exactly how it's outlined, but I think they're there till like 2025.
Okay. So then, yeah, if they're tied up in the alliance with the ACC and the Big Ten and the Pac-12, then they're in it because their rules probably stayed the same. So it protects that. So, like I said,
oh no, it goes well beyond 2025. The deal goes to 2036.
Notre Dame's
ACC deal.
ACC like deal, or Notre Dame's ACC like here's what you have to do scheduling wise, or we're talking about football, right?
We're talking about the football scheduling.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Well, there you go. So the SEC grabs Texas and Oklahoma, and I think in the weeks after that, we did a lot of playing around with teams and where the rest of the Big 12 teams move, and if there's any other realignment to be done in the college football landscape. And it doesn't feel like much of that is going to happen, which, by the way, I think is a good thing overall for the health of the sport.
Yeah.
And the move instead by the other conferences is to do this. So the Big Ten, when their TV deal comes up, I believe, like I said, in 2023, in the summer of 2023. By the way, they already have the best TV deal right now. And the SEC, by grabbing Texas and Oklahoma, is going to enhance their value.
Yep.
But this will enhance the Big Ten's value because they can guarantee premier non-conference games, not with SEC schools. I don't know if there will be still games that happen. That will have to be talked about and worked throughout the contract, but there's plenty of attractive games that you could still do between Big Ten, ACC, and Pac-12 schools, and that enhances the value of each of those conferences.
Yeah, and as we said, it pushes that TV money up without having to spread it out to further schools within those own conferences, and basically just continues to cut out the Big 12.
Yeah, Dave Braska says ACC or Notre Dame is Big Ten in hockey. People forget that.
Oh, well, that's because
hockey's so weird.
Yeah, hockey almost sort of exists unto itself because there's a finite amount of conferences. Is it there's other non-Big Ten members in a Big Ten hockey conference? Isn't that right?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty, I think.
So I'm going to look that up.
Big Ten hockey conference.
Yep. We got the standings of last year. Nope, Notre Dame's the only one. So
really?
It's Wisconsin, Minnesota, Notre Dame, Michigan, Penn State.
Maybe
Ohio
I was thinking
State,
of lacrosse.
Michigan State.
This is like Johns Hopkins is in the Big Ten in lacrosse.
Right, let's look at Big Ten lacrosse.
I'm pretty sure that's the case. Not that matters really at all, but yeah.
Will Nebraska ever have a lacrosse team?
Feels like no.
Feels like they should.
Would you rather have hockey or lacrosse?
Well, I don't think they'll ever have hockey because of UNO. I think that's going to be because it's the university systems are the same. That'll be protected. And they basically gutted their football program to move D1 for hockey.
Sure.
They're not going to increase the competition in a state that doesn't produce hockey players.
In a world where you could have either. Which one?
Right. Well, if I could have either hockey, because I would go to hockey more. I don't know anything about lacrosse, and I'm not anti-lacrosse.
You're anti-lacrosse.
I know nothing about lacrosse, and Johns Hopkins is in there, and because it's Maryland, Rutgers, Ohio State, Penn State, Johns Hopkins, Michigan.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What a conference.
Nebraska needs to consider adding sports because they are the lowest in the Big Ten by a substantial margin.
Well, Nebraska likes their smaller Olympic sports, and they win championships in those too.
Yeah, I mean, you can still win those and also expand your athletic department.
Sure.
And not have.
But you'd have to add on both sides. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to comply with Title IX.
Yeah.
So
you add lacrosse. You add
women's lacrosse.
Or
field hockey.
Is there women's lacrosse?
Probably women's lacrosse. Now, Nebraska could add a women's hockey team if they wanted to have hockey, and then you'd have the men up.
You could do that.
And I think that would make sense. I don't know how much support that would garner here locally, but that would be conceivable.
This is a good question from Corey. Do you guys know why Notre Dame got in bed with the ACC in the first place? The Big Ten is such a better fit geographically and culturally. Is it because the ACC allowed them to remain independent in football and the Big Ten wouldn't? I assume that's part of it. I have no idea when that happened or why that happened.
Do we think it has anything to do with connections they had with other Big East schools that ended up in the ACC?
It's possible
because the Big East disbanded.
Because they were
not big disbanded, but it the way the basketball conference sort of went. Like Notre Dame was part of that conference, right?
They were
for basketball
closely aligned. Yeah, I think they were they eventually ended up being in the Big East. The Big East was huge. The Big East, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, before it turned into what it is now.
No, yeah. I mean, it was an enormous conference. It's still an enormous basketball conference. It doesn't have the same.
No, I'm talking about like in the sense of like amount of schools that were in it. And now the ACC kind of has that in basketball.
I think it was 14 or 16 at the time, which was much larger than the next closest, which would have been 12, I think.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame had to pay a $2.5 million exit fee to leave the Big East. Yeah, I don't know. I've always wondered why the ACC and Notre Dame. I wondered if it was partly because Notre Dame just doesn't want to join the Big Ten.
It feels like I've spent my entire life talking about the flirtation of Notre Dame and the Big Ten.
You have,
and it's never happened.
Yeah,
and it feels
probably
like it's never
will
going to happen. Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I also have this weird affinity for Notre Dame staying independent because it makes no sense, but it also has benefited them in ways that no one else would benefit from it.
It's one of the unique quirks of college football, which I think is fun.
I also sort of love the idea that they're like the NBC team. I don't know why. I like that this exists because it annoys other people to
I haven't decided if I like it, but it's definitely been that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's nice to have. And then this is where I make people mad. I like Notre Dame. Like, not that I'm outwardly rooting for them, but I think college football is a lot more fun when they are good and relevant, and they sort of work as this like natural villain for a lot of people's minds.
Yeah.
Relative to, and I think the same thing about Texas, and this is going to make more people mad.
Yeah, they're like the Yankees.
I would rather have, I would rather have them good than just dormant.
I agree.
It's the same with, and I would hope that people outside of the bubble feel that way about Nebraska too. College football is better if Nebraska is good.
Yeah.
It's better when these blue blood programs actually matter.
I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Yeah, well, you can find more than enough fan bases that.
It's not like like you said, it's not like I'm sitting here and rooting for Notre Dame, but I can agree that the sport is healthier
if
when
Notre Dame
when
and
they're
USC
better.
are playing and it's a top 10 game, like that is great for college football.
That's fun.
100%.
Let's take a break. Rico's in next for True or False.
More of Happer and Schaefer is coming your way on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
U.S. national debt is expected to approach $89 trillion by 2029, according to Forbes. Real inflation rate is estimated to be upwards of 10%. Think about that. What that means. Gas, food, everything is going up in price more than it has since 1992. We're going backward. Soon enough, the $1 million you've tucked away for retirement will not even last you a year. You need to store the value of your money, and you need to do it fast. A precious metals IRA acts like a dam, holding inflation back. It's easy to set up and will keep you out of trouble. Noble Gold specializes in storing the value of your wealth through gold IRAs, so they're the natural choice. This month, they're offering a 1-ounce American Eagle solid silver proof coin with every IRA or 401k taken out. Not many people can smile to themselves when the inflation figures come out, but with Noble Gold, you'll be okay. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is still South Lincoln's go-to sports bar, but it has a different look to it now. Come check out the new remodeled layout and enjoy the game on any of their variety of TVs, whether it's college football, NFL, college hoops, or anything else. You'll find it there with great beer specials to choose from and nightly food specials. Half-pound hamburger and fries for only $7.99 on Wednesdays and French dips on Saturday nights. And make sure to try out their famous chicken lips, too. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Baseball's back, and it's time to celebrate, Lincoln. We're inviting fans back to Haymarket Park to join in the fun for the Salt Dogs' 20th season. Pick out single-game tickets and plot your own Salt Dog schedule around promos and deals. Come to Haymarket Park for Nebraska Medical Association Thank You Tuesdays, Fairbury brand Wiener Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, Fireworks Fridays, Souvenir Saturdays, and Sunday Family Fun Days brought to you by Casey's. Get your tickets for the Salt Dogs celebration season at saltdogs.com.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Whether you're looking for a honey, we can't shrink the kids family car loan or look at my wheels first car loan, talk to Liberty First Credit Union. No hidden charges or early prepayment penalties and rates as low as 1.98% APR. Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Talk to a lender who's here for people, not profits. People like you. Rates may vary depending on year and miles. Subject to credit approval. Not available for current LFCU loans. See Liberty First Credit Union for details.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Ever wonder just how far an extra mile really goes? Drive a Mercedes-Benz van and find out. Start with a network of over 250 authorized dealerships backed by a sales force ready to help you with financing solutions tailored specifically to your unique business and personal needs. They offer a variety of powerful and efficient vans that can run on your choice of either gas or diesel, like the durable Mercedes-Benz Sprinter or that versatile Mercedes-Benz Metris, each tailored to match your work or play lifestyle. With cutting-edge options like blind spot assist, rear cross traffic alert, active lane keeping assist, plus mobile hotspot Wi-Fi tracking capabilities, and an ingenious MBUX voice command technology for directions, weather, forecast, comfort control, and more. So take a test drive. Take that first step into an authorized Mercedes-Benz van dealership for a test drive. Mercedes-Benz vans. Some equipment described as optional.
You're listening to Happer and Schaefer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, true or false with Rico coming up. Good question from our good friend Michael Snow on the Starter Heyman text line.
Michael Snow?
Michael
likes him.
Michael will be in town today.
I'm excited to see Snow.
For the ticket anniversary, which we'll tell you more about as we go on throughout the show. Good question. True or false, Rico will understand how to play true or false today.
Ooh.
I feel like now he's aware of it, so I'll say true. But before that, I would have said false.
I'm going to say false because Rico's his own man and he does what he wants.
It lasted like 6 questions. I was like, Rico, you can't just ask a question. That question has to be true or false.
I did really good until yesterday.
Yeah, it was 2 days.
It was really good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Start a new streak.
Got it.
Start it today.
I can do that.
How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Pretty good. Happy it's Friday.
Yes. Big happiness. Also, Mark told me to tell you to use the old true or false stuff.
Okay. I'd have to find it.
Unless it died when a bunch of the other sounders died.
No, I could locate it. It's just
You have to actually find it.
I think
That's fine.
I think I know where to go.
That's fine. True or false? Lanny was/is the listener's favorite.
Probably true.
Out of all the people that have populated the studio,
yes.
I think
I don't know, but most. I know this is the same as saying liked, but undisliked, like the least amount of people disliked.
Oh yeah. He's the Michael Keaton of the studio.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
or of the station?
Like
a
decent amount
get
of
on
people,
board with that.
A decent amount of people like him, but a lot more people dislike him. I don't know what I'm trying to get with.
Nobody dislikes Lanny.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You said that as wrong
I did,
as you
yeah,
possibly
that
could.
was all bad.
Yeah. I'm gonna go true on that one.
Okay.
I feel like that's true as well. I don't know where true or false. I don't know where any of this stuff went.
It's fine. We don't need to. Mark just told me to tell you.
If Mark can find it and put it in a place where I could see it, that'd be great.
Mark's getting a lot of shout outs today, by the way.
Shout out, Mark.
Mark, do this. Mark, do that.
Well, Mark's very important.
Mark wants us to do this.
We had thing or not a thing at one point.
Yeah.
Which we considered for this segment, but we ultimately
Is this a thing?
True or false? What's next?
True or false? You get excited isn't the word that I wanted to use, but it is the word that I used. When the state of Nebraska is mentioned in something popular, like a movie or a show.
True.
I mean, I guess. I don't dislike
Not
it.
like excited, like your ears kind of perk up, like you're like, oh, Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean,
True.
sure.
Definitely true.
You always note it, so I guess that counts, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you're ever snuck up upon when Nebraska's mentioned or referenced. in a
Like
way.
nobody cares when New York is mentioned in a movie because it's always in a movie.
Probably.
What is this in reference to?
Nothing.
True or false?
What made you think of this?
Nothing. I was just sitting here and I just thought
You
of
didn't
it.
hear Nebraska in a thing?
No.
So we're already digging that deep for topics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
this is not a good sign for true
no,
or
it's
false.
not. Yes, it is. I was just sitting here and it just popped in my head and I was like, hey,
Okay.
this is a good question.
All right. That's fine. I
Um,
would say definitely true. I take a certain amount of pride when, even though I don't know any of the kids, the Nebraska kids or the Hastings kids are in the Little League World Series. That's great. I really like that part in Yes Man where they go to a Bill Callahan game, Nebraska football game. And
Did you like the movie Nebraska?
I never saw it, which is ironic.
Didn't it win a bunch of awards?
His whole point just gets chopped off at the knees. He didn't want to watch his boy Will Forte in Nebraska.
Oh, Will Forte's in it?
Yeah.
I love Will Forte.
Alexander Payne directs it. He's
I
from
knew
Omaha.
about that. Yeah.
Huh.
It doesn't strike
Wasn't
me as
it
a movie
Academy-
that I think you would like.
Was it an Academy Award finalist?
It was a finalist. yeah.
Nominee?
Yep. I don't know that it won anything.
One of the writers for Blacklist went to UNK.
See?
Okay.
Shane
One
says,
of the writers for Better Call Saul
Yep.
from Nebraska.
Yep.
Boom.
What else can we do here?
There's plenty of
Yeah,
there's
Nebraskans
lots
who
of
have done
things.
great things. Shane
Plus
says Lincoln,
us.
Nebraska was in last week's Ted Lasso. I haven't watched that.
Oh, yeah,
I
he
have not
mentioned
watched
it.
Ted Lasso because I don't have access to Apple TV.
Yeah, I don't
or
either.
Apple Plus. Or
I saw
whatever it
somebody
is.
post a clip. He mentioned it for some reason. I don't remember why.
Cool. There was a show, potentially still is a show on one of the stupid networks that, sorry, Schaefer, no shout out to CBS here. And that had Dax Shepard and they lived on a farm.
Yep, that was CBS.
Oh, yeah, it was in Nebraska.
Or,
It was,
no, was that NBC? I don't
know.
remember.
One,
Yeah.
one of the networks.
People
Yeah.
got real mad at that show.
Yeah, I watched it for 15 seconds and it was not good.
Speaking of
I'm not a
America's
fan of
most
Dax Shepard.
Speaking of America's most watched network, people really like that the girl from Big Bang Theory is
Kaylee
from
Kuko.
Nebraska. Yeah.
She's not actually from
But
Nebraska.
no, on the show.
But her
yes.
character
Yeah,
is.
yeah, her character is.
Definitely one of the things, yeah. Did you ever watch The Flight Attendant with her on
No,
HBO
we've
Max?
talked about that. It's on a list of shows that Shelby and I have agreed upon that we would watch together, which is tough. It's hard for us to find stuff we want to watch together.
It was a quick, fun,
Yeah,
you
you
8
told me that.
episodes.
I've been waiting for her to be in on starting it, and instead we restarted Friday Night Lights. So.
Well, oh yeah, which I'm now tasked with doing.
Yeah.
It's necessary.
I came back from the bathroom and wandered into a conversation in which money was being thrown around that, you were gambling or betting on whether you would enjoy this show or not?
Yeah, well, I just think that the movie's better, even though I haven't seen the TV show.
Yeah, which is an interesting tip.
I'm pretty sure, like,
Well, your
a
wife
year
seems
ago.
to think that the TV show is better, and she hasn't seen the movie.
Yeah, but I also know my wife, and I'm not surprised that she has opinions that are strong, that are somewhat uninformed. Really hope she's.
She sounds great.
She is great. Big fan.
What's next?
The Evergreen ship that blocked the Suez Canal. Do you remember that?
I do.
It's headed back down. So
Back down what?
Back down the Suez Canal.
Okay.
So if it gets through there without blocking it again, the captain should get a prize. True or false?
False.
False.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's a big deal.
It's not that hard.
This was
Apparently
another,
it is.
Millions of ships do it.
This was another what's poppin' question that you turned into a true or false.
It's a big
I feel
deal.
like you could make anything true or false if you end it with they should get a prize.
Exactly.
So this is a dangerous game we've given.
Should they get a prize?
Is it a big deal if they get down without blocking it again? True
No,
or false?
false. No, it's not.
Are you sure? They blocked it once. It was a big deal. If they don't block it again, it should be like, hey, good job.
If they don't block it, it's not a big deal because a lot of ships do it every day.
I have a true or
This
false.
one
Which is why it was a big deal when they blocked it.
Well, obviously this person doesn't know what they're doing, so it should be a big deal if they don't.
Did they ever decide if it was whose fault it was?
I don't think they mentioned.
So
Like
who are we to decide who gets the prize?
Touche. Touche.
Schaefer has a true or false?
Yeah. True or false? Jack Stoll's better than Devonta Smith. Jack Stoll, 4 receptions, 33 yards last night for the Eagles.
True.
Smith, the Heisman winner, just 2 catches, 19 yards.
True. Jack Stoll. They were
Jack Stoll
mentioning
led the Eagles in receiving.
they talked about Jack Stoll a lot. I was watching that game.
Well, yeah, you're a Patriots fan.
Mac Jones looks amazing.
Jack Stoll had 7 targets.
Yeah,
More
because
targets than he ever had in
they're
Nebraska.
they're
No, that's not true.
their top two.
If they needed 2 yards, they were throwing the 1-yard horizontal pass to Jack Stoll.
Such a weird play.
They're
In the run of weird plays,
Yeah.
that's another weird play.
I like Jack Stoll quite a bit. Stop running goal line horizontal passes with Jack Stoll.
He would just run. He would run forward for like 3 steps and then have to shift his whole body weight to the right, and then they would just throw it to him immediately. I was like, this is not the right guy.
Well, then
imagine
Nebraska
him
has a
turning.
140-pound guy blocking on the edge to try to hold off the safety from blowing up the play. Yeah, I mean,
It makes sense if you don't think about it too hard.
sometimes you don't have to work that hard to figure out how they're where they are.
Jack Stoll got a lot of shout outs because their top 2 tight ends weren't playing.
You were watching?
Another guy, yeah. Another guy like
Ooh, so it's
messed up his
Dallas,
knee. Dallas Goddard.
Goddard. I think it's Goddard.
Yeah.
But who's their other top tight end?
'Cause
That guy's gone. Ertz is
No.
gone. Yeah.
They have another one. I don't remember his name, but they were talking about him. He was on the sideline. One of their tight ends is on injured reserve. Another one, non-contact knee injury during the game. So Jack Stoll and some other guy were the only 2 tight ends they had for the game.
I hope he makes the roster.
Oh,
He
Ertz,
should.
Ertz is there.
Is he? Okay.
He went back.
Goddard,
I think he
Ertz,
resigned.
They got Richard Rodgers.
Yes.
He must have been the one that got hurt.
No, it was starts with a C. His last name does.
Jason Kroom.
That one.
Okay.
Cool.
How did
Well,
Mac
good-
Jones look?
Good breakdown of the Eagles tight
Fantastic.
end room.
He almost threw a pick, but it wasn't.
They're
so
still
it's
going to
good.
start Cam Newton for the first couple weeks.
Yes, but according to all the NFL analysts that I've been seeing on ESPN and the Twitters, they shouldn't.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and call myself an NFL analyst too, and also say they shouldn't.
I think they're still going to.
Cam Newton should not be playing quarterback.
Hey, he had some great throws last night also.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't watch the game, but he didn't.
He threw a touchdown pass, 28 yards.
He was 8 of 9 for 103 yards.
He looked like he forgot how to throw last year.
Granted, it's a spring game. It was a
Practically.
preseason game. So
Also,
it's hard
his throwing motion is bad. His whole body goes into it. Like
He's kind of always been like
he
that.
like leans back and then he leans forward.
Last year, I saw he threw passes like 20 yards over guys' heads and then also 4 feet into the ground in front of him.
Look, he got better. Maybe
It was amazing. I didn't even know how that was possible. All right. Thank you, Rico.
No
True or
problem.
false?
lives on.
We're going to keep going.
Okay.
We're going to keep
I
pushing
got
through
this. I got this.
Here. More up next.
You're listening to Happer and Schaefer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, are you there?
I sure am, Charlie. Great to talk to you again.
Andy, I know you're selling a lot of cars right now, but I hear you still have a lot of cars available.
We do, Charlie. In fact, we still have over 500 new 2021 Hondas to choose from in stock or on the way, with 0% APR financing available on select models.
What about new 2022 Hondas, Andy?
You know, we actually have quite a few in stock already, and they're arriving every day.
Now, I'm going to assume since you're selling a lot of new cars, you have some great trade-ins available too. How is the selection of pre-owned?
It's the largest selection of pre-owned we've ever had, Charlie, with over 160 choose from. People can choose from just about any make and model you can imagine.
Thanks, Andy. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
When everything is changing, you need a store that's a constant. A store that has the brands your family loves and the value that you need. A store where you can stock up, pick up, and drive up. A store that's close to home and feels like home. A store that puts the health and safety of you and your family above all else. And a store that's always here to help. At Kohl's, we don't know what next year will look like. We just know that we'll be here for you no matter what. Kohl's, here today, here to stay. See store or kohls.com for details.
Whether you're looking for a honey, we can't shrink the kids family car loan or look at my wheels first car loan, talk to Liberty First Credit Union. No hidden charges or early prepayment penalties and rates as low as 1.98% APR. Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Talk to a lender who's here for people, not profits. People like you. Rates may vary depending on year and miles. Subject to credit approval. Not available for current LFCU loans. See Liberty First Credit Union for details.
Looking for a way to pay for that new home improvement you've been waiting for? Ready to consolidate credit card debt at a lower interest rate? Figure offers multiple loan options that can help you improve your finances. From mortgage refinances to home equity lines and personal loans, Figure can help you find the loan that's right for you. Figure takes all the stress and hassle out of the process. Apply 100% online at figure.com and see your new rate in a few clicks. Figure out your finances at figure.com. Figure Lending LLC, Equal Opportunity Lender, NMLS 1717824. Terms and conditions apply.
From Alfred Hitchfield, the master of suspense.
They're growing. Today, there are 1,000. And tomorrow, there will be 2,000.
Comes a tale of mystery and multiplication.
In a year, there'll be 365,000 and 3,650,000 in 10 years.
Wait a minute. What are we talking about here?
The dollars you get if you win Lucky for Life from the Nebraska Lottery. $1,000 a day for life.
What's with the scary music?
We do lots of movie trailers. Force of habit.
Top prize odds 1 in 30 million. You know that music. It's the theme for America's favorite spooky family. And we've got them. Play $5 The Addams Family Fortune, the new scratch ticket from the Nebraska Lottery. The top prize is $50,000, and you can choose from frighteningly fun tickets featuring Gomez, Morticia, Uncle Fester, and other classic characters. And see The Addams Family 2 in theaters October 11th. So lurch into a Nebraska Lottery retailer and pay a visit to The Addams Family. Top prize odds 1 in 96,000.
Amigo's new Crunchadilla has the crunch you'll crave. Your taste buds will come alive when you bite into this crispy salsa tortilla that's loaded with melted pepper jack and cheddar, along with your choice of taco meat, Southwest chicken, or grilled chicken. The deliciousness continues with bacon bits, Amigo's famous ranch, fresh pico de gallo, and crispy tortilla strips. This Crunchadilla is a grab-and-go meal all by itself. Conquer your cravings with the Crunchadilla, only at Amigos. Taco making is a team sport. Here at Amigos, we want you to join our roster of the most talented taco artists in Nebraska. When you work at Amigos, you'll be on a team of people who have each other's backs. We offer a fast-paced, friendly work environment and flexible scheduling to fit your busy life. Join our team, meet your Amigos, and become a customer service expert, all while furthering your career. Be amigos. Apply today at amigoskings.com.
Deck City is Lincoln's DIY deck headquarters. With real deck professionals, they can help you throughout the entire process. They also offer financing for qualified customers. Deck City offers the best quality materials so you have a deck built to last. There's everything from Yellowwood lumber to the best quality TimberTech composites on the market and high quality aluminum railings by Westbury or Diamond Piers for easy footing install. For those looking to bring your wood deck back to life, they offer good proof ready seal stain. Deck City, your deck material headquarters, is now open Saturdays from 9 to 1, 2 blocks north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Happer and Schaefer.
Says I take no joy in life. I can see that.
Coming at you live from Coppel Chevrolet GMC Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Why are you yelling at me?
Whatever, make me a bicycle clown.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Connor Happer.
You might want to look away for this.
Mike Schaefer.
My boy's awake and smart.
This is Happer and Schaefer.
I'm sure Mark didn't know what he was doing when he chose Party Like a Rock Star as our song. But this is a good throwback from like 2008 or something like that. Does Schaefer even know the song?
I knew the music of it. I wouldn't have been able to name the song, but I'm familiar with the sound.
Yeah. It was a big deal in the late 2000s, probably. Maybe early 2010s.
Just outside of my wheelhouse.
Just missed it?
Yeah,
Schaefer doesn't listen to music anymore.
I really don't.
Doesn't happen.
I mean, I listen to music that I've already heard. I don't listen to new music.
Sure.
The most
there's some good stuff out there.
There's like a couple country acts that basically, like, if they have a new, and country's like strong for it because it's like Southern rock, I guess, if you will. If they have a new album, I would listen to that. Other than that, I don't listen to anything else.
We still have to figure out. We have to do like a pop culture segment with you, where I just, I don't know what the format would be.
Expose me for the dunce that I am.
I just read you pop culture headlines, and then you just give me a response. Basically, that's it.
We kind of came up with this idea during the opening drive, where it was like you were just gonna basically be like, "Do you know who this is?" And I have to explain. Like, it's almost like it's a.
And you have to try and figure it out.
It's like one of those games where someone gives you a word and you have to create a definition, and there's like 6 of you.
Yeah.
And you throw it in a bowl, and then the person has to vote for what they think it is.
Sure.
So you'll just give me a name that exists in pop culture, and if I don't know who it is, I have to explain who they are.
What do you think is on like the front? What pop culture website should I go to? Like TMZ? What do you think
is that pop culture?
It covers.
Is it weird that when you
like
say,
E? What's E?
When you say pop culture, I immediately think of Rolling Stone.
Yeah,
the magazine.
that seems outdated.
I know, but that's how old I am.
Let's go to TMZ and just see what's up there right now and see what it says. Britney Spears, dog taken away. She blames Jamie.
So I am familiar with
thing?
the Britney Spears conservatorship thing. I watched the documentary that was on Hulu. I actually would recommend it to a lot of people. It was kind of eye-opening because it sort of challenged my own memory of what Britney Spears was when I grew up.
Yeah.
And I kind of forgot that some governor's wife said that she should be shot.
Yikes, I don't remember
because
that
she
either.
wore like low-rise jeans on a TV show or something.
Definitely don't remember that.
Yeah, like she was treated pretty poorly. And then the whole Justin Timberlake thing.
Yeah.
And America just siding with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating.
I was young enough where I really didn't understand what was happening at all.
Yeah. And
they just like, I knew Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake was a thing, and then it was just gone.
Yeah, she became absolutely huge when I was in middle school. So again, it's just like that formulative time where you follow all of that stuff.
The Weeknd, living large in Bel Air with $70 million estate.
So The Weeknd is the performer at the Super Bowl this last year.
Yes.
And did the Fun House thing.
That's right.
All right. So I got that down.
Good
and
job.
they don't spell it right.
The Weeknd.
Yeah.
That is correct.
And Daniel Craig will do his thing on Friday, The Daniel Craig The Weeknd account.
Yes,
I'm familiar. Is that pop culture?
That happened on
Or
Saturday
is
Night
that
Live.
internet? Is there a difference between pop culture and internet culture?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because
That's internet.
I don't even really want to understand internet culture.
Okay.
Like when stuff happens, like when the llamas got loose and everyone was going nuts about it.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that I can just ignore.
30 to 50 feral hogs.
Yeah, completely ignore. I looked that up the other day because I was like, what does this even mean? And then I'm like going through this whole hellscape of figuring out what it is, and I still don't really know. I just don't know. I got nothing.
It was just a tweet. It was just a response to a tweet. I don't even remember what the tweet was, but then somebody responded to it. It was like, yeah, well, what about when 30 to 50 feral hogs come through your yard and like I don't know, and something about kids or something like that.
Why did this become a thing?
It just was a funny tweet. I don't know. And then it blew up.
Yeah, that's what I don't
It's
understand.
like when the llamas happened.
But llamas,
remember
the llamas running around loose, I understand.
One of the greatest internet days was when the llamas were loose, and then the same day was everybody was arguing over the red dress or the blue dress.
It wasn't red or blue. It was,
blue or yellow, I think.
Was it green and gold?
I don't know.
Oh, and then what stemmed out of that was the whole audio clip. Like, what do you hear from these two things? Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, then that just became its own sub-internet.
Which I still don't understand how that works. They play the same clip twice, and you have to. It's like Brain Needle or Space Invader or something like that, and it plays, and you can whatever you think it is, it is.
It was blue or gold, not green. Now that I'm thinking about
Blue or gold, yeah.
Yeah. So you had one of them right. I had one of them right. I don't think Brain Needle was correct.
I think it was brain something needle. I'm pretty sure was one of them. Somebody could help me out.
No, I distinctly remember that day thinking life has passed me by.
One more TMZ headline: Destiny's Child, Beyonce's dad says no reunion on tap. ... Social media is misleading.
So Destiny's Child.
You should know this.
Yeah, I know Beyonce. I know Destiny's Child. I was trying to think if I could name all the members of it. So it was Beyonce, it was Kelly Rowland, and then I can never remember the third person. So those are the two I remember.
Michelle Williams?
Yeah. See, that's just too common of a name.
Yeah.
There's too many Michelle Williams out there to remember Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child.
Yeah, they were a big deal.
You briefly went to Millard North, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that Destiny's Child played at Millard North? They won a contest.
What? No.
Yeah. I have some friends that are much older than you that went to Millard North, and Destiny's Child had they had to do a concert at Millard North.
That's unbelievable. When
I want to see if I can find.
Yeah, when was this? Pre 2000? 2000-ish?
So my friend is 3 to 4-ish years older than I am, so that would have put him in high school right at the end of the 90s, beginning of the 2000s.
Okay. Wow.
So
that's in the height of Destiny's Child too.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. This is always great when it happens. Bands get scheduled out really far in advance, and then they get huge,
right?
And that's how they end up at these places where they don't want to be, but the contracts
They
don't
just have
really
to do
allow
it.
them to get out
Yeah,
of it.
It's funny.
So
I didn't know about that. There's no plaque at Millard North that represents that at all, that I know of. Anyway,
May 24th, 2001.
Wow, what a time.
Yeah. And you know what entity was the first to have this news as I researched it?
Rolling Stone.
Hell yeah. Pop culture, baby.
They had to copy and paste everything over from the magazine to their website eventually at some point.
Probably.
Yeah. Green Needle and Brainstorm. They play the clips.
Brunts might have been we should have gotten Brunts might even be listening. He was a Millard North student. He might have been there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
If you remember,
there's a lot of Millard North media members.
There are.
Or there were. It's cut down in recent years.
No, there are. Yeah.
But Sam McEwen, Michael Brunts, I mean, you have at least some claim to Millard North.
I have some experience.
But previously, Dan Hoffman, Laney Holstein.
Yeah.
I feel like there's another person in there that I'm forgetting. Was Grant Musel? Was he Millard North?
I never
as
knew
well?
him.
So yeah. They had a little run there, but they didn't have the staying power of Columbus High.
Yeah, with big time pillars of the media like yourself and Sipple
and Dirk.
Yeah,
just a loaded media atmosphere.
Here's a stat for you, Schaefer.
Is it a TMZ stat?
No. We're past the TMZ segment now.
I do think that's something we should do weekly.
We have to make it a thing
Yeah.
for sure. I just read headlines from TMZ.
Yeah, no, and then I like this.
We just
I like
get
this a
Schaefer's
lot.
thoughts
Yep.
about it. We'll do it at that. We'll bookend an hour with it at some point. Shohei Ohtani currently has a 1.66 OPS plus and a 1.66 ERA plus. Which, if you don't know, if you're not into advanced baseball stats, here's what ERA plus means. So this is straight from MLB.com. ERA plus takes a player's ERA and normalizes it across the entire league. It accounts for external factors like ballparks and opponents that it then adjusts. So a score of 100 is league average. If you are below 100, you are league average. If you are above 100, you are above league average. And 150 is 50% better than league average. So Shohei Ohtani, in both hitting and the main stats for both hitting and pitching, OPS and ERA, he is 66% better than the rest of the league.
Which, okay, so if you just went and
I don't know.
Like, so Jose Abreu was the MVP last year. Like, if you look at his OPS plus, do you think it would be better or worse than what it was for Shohei Ohtani right now?
Right around that range.
165.
Yeah.
And let's see how many seasons Mike Trout has had above a 166.
And not that he'll finish with a 166,
Right.
but that's incredible.
It
For
definitely
example, Mariano Rivera's 2.21 career ERA was 105% better than the Major League Baseball average during the time he pitched with adjustments for league and ballpark. That gives him a 2.05 career ERA plus, which is, of course, the best all time. He was 100% better than the rest of. He was twice as good as the rest of baseball during his time pitching. That's basically what it's saying.
It's stupid. Like the numbers are just stupid.
And Ohtani, and this is the thing that we were talking about the other day. It's not like if you just take him off the mound, he hits 50 bombs. Like, I think because he's got 40 right now, he's doing about the max of what he could do at both. He is an MVP caliber player on both ways. I mean, it's hard to win MVP as a pitcher, and I don't think he would, as he's, with the performance that he's currently putting out there, but he's much, much better than league average. He's an all-star pitcher and an all-star hitter. If you split the two players up, they're both all-stars.
So
and they're both probably award winners.
Right.
At the end of
Well,
the year, too.
they would both be in the conversation for the best pitcher in the league and
Right.
the best hitter in the league, and yet it's one guy.
Right.
Here's how good Mike Trout is. He's had exactly one season, which constituted in only 53 games because it was in 2020, in which his OPS plus was lower than 166.
Yikes.
He has had
He is very good.
6 seasons in which he was a league leader in OPS plus. It's
What's his highest career season?
198.
It's 100%
And the thing
better
is,
than
this
everybody
year,
else.
his season got cut a lot shorter, and we don't know if he's going to come back, but he was pacing at 191.
And this is a stat. I mean, it's a stat that combines two. It combines on base percentage and slugging percentage, but it's kind of made
even more than that because that's just OPS, or that's just,
you're right. But it's kind of made for a guy like Mike Trout, who's going to get on base a lot and hit for power.
It's created to show that not only is this guy good, he's substantially better than even another good player. And then so to think about what Shohei Ohtani is doing with both the pitching and the hitting aspect is just incredible.
Yeah. It's a lot to think about. Okay, that was a random segment.
And he's going to play Cleveland this week, so his numbers should only go up.
Should be fun.
Yeah. And then the Williamsport game is on Sunday. So
which you bought a jersey for.
I did, and the jersey won't arrive until Tuesday.
Perfect.
So Major League Baseball getting it done as always.
Hey, speaking of the Little League game, shout out to
Hastings
Little League team who beat New Jersey yesterday. I believe the score was 4-0.
Do you think that team had a field, or is it like NJIT?
5-3? Why did I say 4-0? Yeah. We can talk to our boy Lenny about that one.
I almost said Lanny.
Lenny.
Yeah,
I got the I got everything we needed. We just needed some help. Talk about. There we go.
I watched the game last night.
You did? How'd it
go? Hastings was up 5-1 going into
they were up 4-0.
Yeah,
That's
going into the 5th. and then couple hits got it to 2, and then the pitcher kind of went wild in the 6th, but he controlled it, but he threw a couple wild pitches and allowed another run to score.
I haven't watched them yet. Is it a likable team?
I didn't see the start, which is when
what?
I didn't see the beginning, which is when you get the likability because they introduce themselves and everything.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I didn't see that part. I started in like the 4th.
Oh man.
What? I know they're kids.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know that I've really watched the Little League World Series and just thought about like, what is this team's overall
I like the
likability?
team from Nebraska, but I want to be proud of them.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
You
don't want a bunch of Danny Almontes out there.
I don't want them misrepresenting us.
You don't want Cash Money.
Who's
That was
Cash
a kid.
Money?
That was a kid once in the Little League World Series.
I don't remember him.
I just know Cash Kolkowski.
I just want to be represented by Big Al.
Yeah, their last name was Money, and
Big
his name
Al
was
ate
Cash.
dingers.
Big Al.
Is that kid like 15 now?
That was quite a while ago.
Was it? I feel like it was like
I'm
2
gonna,
years ago.
I don't know what's going to happen when I search this, but I'm putting
guess,
in what happened to Dinger's kid.
I'm gonna
Just say Big Al.
Big Al.
Yeah.
I want to guess that was in 2017 or 18.
I swear it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
What happened to Big Al?
We're not that
Little
far
League?
off.
I know. Yeah.
It's 2021.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so here's a story from 2019 where he's back on a baseball field, still hitting dingers.
Big Al.
Back. So
I had dingers.
is he still big? Is his name still Al?
I've found a story from 2021, and I'm trying to sum it up.
Where is Big Al now? Find out next.
He is he's leading the Middletown Senior All-Stars on another run.
Okay, Big Al.
Senior. So he's a senior?
He's in high school now.
He's a senior, which means he would have been in the Little League World Series 4 years ago.
2018. So he's just playing on a high school team. It's just so the Columbus Seniors was
so
like
he's
the,
not a
the
senior.
highest
Okay.
level.
He's
of the
not a
Little League.
senior,
Yeah.
but he's apparently he's good. He's made the varsity team.
Look at him.
Yeah, there's 3 players on that team that also played for the historic Middletown Little League run.
Wow.
What else can we find out?
I mean,
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun when these kids in about 4 years, when they're all playing at Hastings High or whatever, they're playing baseball around the state, and maybe they go to college. You'll be like, oh, I remember that kid. He was on TV.
It's gonna be great when they win the Little League World Series. They all go to Nebraska. They win the College World Series, and they all go on to the pros.
Yes, that is definitely gonna happen.
Rico with the very standard take there. They will take their title, take the whole team to Lincoln,
Damn
win
straight.
another title, take the whole team to the pros, probably for the Yankees, and Rico's Yankees can win another title.
No, they're not gonna play for the Yankees.
They don't want to?
No, they don't want to.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna play for like the Marlins or
Simba
something.
says, Jesus, Connor doesn't like kids. I just want to know if they're good kids. That's all.
Are they fun?
Can we all admit? I know parents are clouded in their judgment. Can we all admit that there are bad kids? There are kids that I don't want representing us.
true.
I'm not sure if these Hastings kids are. I don't know. That's my question.
Look, Happer, I agree with you. You're not wrong on this.
Oh yeah,
Rico
You're not wrong on this.
Rico called his daughter the pest of the weekend.
I did.
That's coming up. You gotta lock in right now, Rico. You gotta have a new pest of the weekend.
I'll figure it out. Well,
You
I have to
can't
wait for
pick
the
you got to wait for the weekend.
Yeah, I have to wait for the weekend.
Right. But
I can't have the same one.
I would ask you not to pick your daughter each.
What if she does something pest worthy?
You're gonna have to.
What if
explain
she
it.
throws my
another door?
What if she throws my phone in the toilet? Which she's come close to doing multiple times.
Why does she have your phone?
She just grabs it. She's very quick.
Close the toilet seat.
She can open it.
That's pretty pest worthy. I don't know.
She can literally open everything.
I feel
that's
like
not good.
she could be a standing. We could have like a small little Ellie segment and why
Okay.
she's her own pest of the weekend,
We
but
can
you
do
might have
that.
to have someone else too.
We could do that.
So just
I'm good with
letting
that.
you know. Get
All right.
prepared.
Yeah,
Anyway-
there are bad kids, just like our doctor told us there are ugly babies.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. They're like, nobody ever says it, but there's ugly babies.
And what
Ellie
they say
is-
about your
Ellie
baby.
is not an ugly
Okay.
baby.
I was
good.
gonna say, yeah, it's
Jeez.
your daughter. It's cute.
The doctor said that
They-
to you?
they were like,
I just
your
want to
baby-
let you know they're ugly
There are
babies.
1,000%
And you're one of
ugly.
them.
They were
Yeah,
like-
there are 1,000% ugly babies.
Oh, I've seen some ugly babies.
Yeah, they were
there's like a whole ugly baby TikTok.
When you
Yeah.
hold an ugly baby and you're looking at it and it's basically there's still a lot of time left. That's what I'm thinking in my
Yeah,
head. It's
you
like,
better-
but
you
you're
don't
sitting
have to look like this the rest of
You
your
can't
life.
put that baby away.
But
for
you're
about
sitting there,
3
you're
years.
holding the baby, and you're like, oh, so cute. Oh, look at you. And the parent's like, yeah, they're so cute. And you're just like, no, they're not.
Just, put that thing away for a couple years. See you in kindergarten.
Yeah.
See you later, kid.
You just got your awkward stage real early.
You really got to grow into those eyes.
More up next on Happer and Schaefer.
Follow Connor and Mike on Twitter at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer. You're listening to Happer and Schaefer.
Last year, there was a victim of identity theft. Every 3 seconds, a criminal could be spending your money, applying for loans in your name, damaging your credit, even selling your personal information on the dark web. Unfortunately, you could miss certain threats to your identity by just checking bank statements and monitoring your credit. The solution? LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock sees certain threats you might miss if you're just monitoring your credit and alerts you if they find something that could be suspicious. Plus, if you become a victim of identity theft, a U.S.-based identity restoration specialist is dedicated to your case and will work to fix it from start to finish. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock by Norton can help protect your personal information so you can keep what's yours. Save up to 25% off your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock or go to LifeLock.com. Use the promo code Patrick. That's LifeLock.com, promo code Patrick for up to 25% off.
Deck City is Lincoln's DIY deck headquarters. With real deck professionals, they can help you throughout the entire process. They also offer financing for qualified customers. Deck City offers the best quality materials so you have a deck built to last. There's everything from yellowwood lumber to the best quality TimberTech composites on the market and high-quality aluminum railings by Westbury or Diamond Piers for easy footing install. For those looking to bring your wood deck back to life, they offer good-proof, ready seal stain. Deck City, your deck material headquarters, is now open Saturdays from 9 to 1, 2 blocks north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I tell people about this all the time. I'm sleeping better. My joints don't ache. I have way more energy. I can't explain it. This stuff is working.
It's amazing. It really is. The energy and the clear-headed thinking it gives you is very noteworthy.
The stuff really does work, and it's amazing. It gives you energy. It gives you a lot of energy. And I think it's also pretty good for immunity. I really believe that. So great product. I'm going to continue to use it, forever. It's good stuff.
Get a wide variety of all your daily recommended servings of whole fruits and vegetables without having to leave your home. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FREEDOM.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is still South Lincoln's go-to sports bar, but it has a different look to it now. Come check out the new remodeled layout and enjoy the game on any of their variety of TVs, whether it's college football, NFL, college hoops, or anything else. You'll find it there with great beer specials to choose from and nightly food specials. Half-pound hamburger and fries for only $7.99 on Wednesdays and French dips on Saturday nights. And make sure to try out their famous chicken lips, too. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Another packed fall season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Right now, they have tons of Oktoberfest beers, and you can check out their Cosmic Eye and Glacial Till selections as their beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage shop at 1801 Oak Street.
Don't you feel so free out here on the lake?
Not as free as this soda.
Where'd you get free soda?
Casey's. Buy 4 fountain drinks, 5th one's free.
I love free.
Well, then you'll love this. Bought this jerky. Got this free donut.
I love free donuts.
With Casey's Summer of Freedom sweepstakes, the more you buy, the more you can win, including free Lee Brice concert tickets. Casey's, here for good. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. For official rules, visit Casey's.com.
You want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year automatically, with no limit on how much you can earn. How amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing because of all the places where Discover is accepted. According to the 2021 Nielsen report, over 99% of places in the United States that take credit cards take the Discover card. So get used to hearing the word yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen report. Limitations apply.
You're listening to Happer and Schaefer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here in Happer and Schaefer, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Today, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary here at 93.7 The Ticket. I believe the official day, first day that we went on air would have been 10 years ago Sunday, I want to say, or maybe Monday. But we're celebrating it today because it's Friday, and we're going to McKinney's, and we're all going to hang out. There will be former 93.7 The Ticket hosts that will be in attendance.
Current 93.7 The Ticket hosts that'll be in attendance.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do from, like, it's just going to be an extravaganza from, 11 to 2, Tom and Bach are going to, well, I guess Tom won't be there today until later in the afternoon because he has a thing this afternoon.
Gotcha.
Bach will be there. I think we're getting at least an hour of Welch and Bach drop the mic.
Oh, look at that.
We're getting that at least.
Nice.
Gaskins, maybe there's a Gaskins and Stevens, portion
This
as
is like
well.
a throwback machine.
It really is.
That's cool.
It's great. It'll be really fun, and we'll kind of just reminisce this
Will there be
afternoon.
some Gaskins and Bogus at some point?
I think so. I think Bogus will
wasn't
be
that
there.
the original drive show or something?
Mark and I went back and tried to trace the history, and it was very difficult. So Gaskins and Jake Bogus would be better historians, and actually Sorensen too, would be better historians on that than I am. I barely know the last 7 years, and that's how long I've been here.
When was your start date? Do you even know that?
Yeah,
because you started as like an intern.
May of 2014.
Okay. Like as an intern, right? Yeah. And then you graduated to an on-air presence.
I was put on the air in August of 2015. Nice. Yes. So that's how long I've been on the air.
Look at that.
And as of this week, I've completed the day part cycle. First time in ticket history.
Look at that.
Only person who's ever done it. Because I think there's only two people who have ever occupied these airwaves during this time locally. And that'd be me and you, Schaefer.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we now have the longest running local show from 8 to 11 on Ticket Airwaves.
That is true. That much is true.
No one will surpass us. Each day, we're just adding to our record.
Somebody might surpass us eventually.
They won't.
I don't know. It's not going to be soon.
We're doing this until we die.
Okay, so we've... yeah. Let's just go forward with that. So, by the way, once again, come hang out with us today at McKinney's Irish Pub, which is at 8th and P in the Haymarket. Should be a fun time. Everybody's going to kind of be down there. We'll be mingling about. I know there's a lot of you who have been listening from since day one, which is crazy to me still. And thank you to those people. And we've certainly changed a lot. We're going to be continuing to evolve into the future. And we're looking forward to kind of celebrating the last decade on Lincoln Airwaves. Okay, you kind of posed this topic earlier in the week. Why don't I just let you kind of throw it out there for people? Do we all agree, or how many of us agree that Samori Toure is going to be the top receiver for
in the studio? I think it's two of us agree.
I do, although I'm less sure than some.
All right. Well, what would your hesitations be?
I just don't know if he's going to be the main target. Like, he's not what I think of when I think of main target. I think he's the most reliable target. I think that it's hard for me to know exactly how they'll use him until we see it, I suppose. But he doesn't seem like a guy who's going to be breaking off, like he's going to be running down the sideline. Like, he doesn't seem like that. Doesn't mean he won't accumulate yards. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson did plenty of that without, beating anybody one-on-one on the edge. But that's just not how I see Toure. So that would be the case for it, but I still kind of default to him because I think he's the most he's the surest bet.
Yeah, so the reason why I think he's the safest bet is that he has the most production at this point of anybody.
There's no doubt.
And obviously that production came at a different level. So how much it matters, not sure. It also just feels like he's definitively put himself in that position where the rest of the wide receivers have looked at him as sort of like, this is a guy that's kind of our leader of this group. And when that usually happens, it's rare for that player to not also be among your most productive receivers. Like, I agree. I'm just
he
trying
will
to
be
think
among it for sure.
I'm trying to think in recent memory the last time that a guy would have been perceived to be the leader of the group, but not have been at least one or two in terms of the receptions and the yards. And it would have to be when Jordan Westerkamp had kind of an injury-riddled senior season, because then I think Alonzo Moore and Brandon Riley probably passed him up.
That would have been, what, 16?
Yeah, I think 16 is what I have in my head there. Otherwise, it's been, 2017 was Stanley Morgan, 2018 was Stanley Morgan, 2019 was J.D. Spielman, 2020 was, I don't even know.
You know who Nebraska's leading
Wandale
receiver
Robinson
was in 2016?
Nebraska's leading receiver in 2016 would have been... Was it a running back?
Injury-riddled season for Jordan Westerkamp.
Yeah.
He was still the leading receiver.
Really? With 570 yards?
526 yards.
Yeah.
They really ran the ball that year. and they sat on it, and they played a little defense.
Well, they were pretty good in terms of hitting shots with Riley and Moore, but it wasn't a consistent thing.
Well, they had a really good top four with Westerkamp, Morgan, Riley, and Moore.
It's probably the best their receiving, or the deepest their receiving core has been
until now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if you're looking at a group where it's like, what's kind of the upside here? I think that 2016 group sort of represents that, because Westerkamp was hurt and he still put up pretty good numbers there. I think that Samori Toure can put up more than the 500 some yards there, assuming, I think he's going to be in the neighborhood of 700-800 yards.
Okay. That's
kind of where I'm at with it. But then, Xavier Betts can be a better version of Alonzo Moore or Brandon Riley.
So if you're taking a bet, and so you asked the question, if it's not Samori Toure, then where's your money going?
Yeah.
Then who is it? I think that's your answer.
Xavier Betts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how you feel about this. I am very pleased that it appears that he has corrected whatever happened this spring, because there was a lot of rumors.
When he came out and talked a couple of weeks ago, and he really opened up about it and admitted to some of his shortcomings in the spring. I left the practice that day and I tweeted, Xavier Betts, buy stock. And
there's no stock to really, it's like a Netflix stock.
But
you're going to have to pay a lot of money.
If you offloaded some after the spring, which maybe you did, because
some people definitely did.
It really, we both talked about it on the recruiting hour. It's like, it's really weird that he was on the white team.
Yeah.
He was like, that's usually nothing, but I just thought that was odd.
Well, and then it's like you kind of talk yourself into, well, maybe it matters because they had Harburg throwing a lot to him and he was running deep routes. Maybe you're trying to focus on something there. But then you hear, and I don't know how much of this made it into the radio airwaves or into the collective, but there were a lot of conversations that were being had about what he didn't do in the spring and kind of the lack of effort that was perceived to be there, that the way he kind of came out and spoke, and the fact that Adrian, I think even before that, even before the Xavier Betts interview, talked about Xavier as a guy that like most potential out of the wide receiver group, he singled him out for that. You're like, okay, this sounds good. And then other people are talking about him, and then he shows up, and Nebraska's not letting him do media if he's not at a point where they're excited.
100%.
I mean, if there's one thing that you can pick up context clues, if Nebraska's having people do media, because it is way more tightly controlled now than it ever has been. If they're letting people talk, those guys are going to be fairly valuable to the upcoming season.
No doubt.
So you can usually draw a line of if that guy hasn't spoke, and that's where, and part of it, Omar Manning hasn't played yet, so that might be part of that. But for me, it would go.
Frost had some positive comments about Omar last night.
Well, he's going to play. It's just a matter
how
of
much can you load up on him?
Well, and it's what do you actually expect out of him?
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's maybe a catch or two a game. For other people, they're hoping that he's.
I'm not as afraid to put a little expectations on his shoulders as some are. I mean, some are just like, hey, let's, I can't, I have no idea what we're getting until we see it at all. I'm like, okay, well, hold on. He's a big part of why I think Nebraska's wide receiver room is more talented and deep than it's been in the Frost era. Like he's a big part of that. It's Betts, and it's Toure, and it's Oliver Martin, but it's him too. It's Omar Manning. So, and I think he is the guy. Him and Betts provide the guys who can win one-on-one on the edge and our big physical wide receivers who
We can win
stretch-
one-on-one in the air. I think if you're talking winning on the edge, you can't leave out Oliver Martin. Who
yeah,
can
I'm
just
not talking
straight run by people.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure.
But in the terms of like the physical jump ball nature of it, those are the two guys that come to mind for sure.
And that, as I've said before, I think that is the piece of this offense that's just been missing over the last 3 years. Not the only piece, but it's one of the pieces.
I would argue the piece has been the people that get the ball across the goal line. They've been missing. How they get there is a different conversation.
There have been a few pieces missing, but that's definitely one of them.
Yeah. So
I would say Betts would be my answer if it can't be Toure, which I'm not 100% positive that he will be the top receiver.
Assuming health, I think he will be.
I might just tell you right here that I think Betts is going to be the top guy. Would you be?
No, he's in my top three. So it's basically Toure, Martin, Betts. Those are the three that I think.
Why is Martin not? Why does he seem to like go as an underrated guy? Like they always include him in those conversations, but I don't know. It feels like he doesn't get mentioned a lot and then does other times.
Yeah, it sort of ebbs and flows. I think that he's
a weird one.
I think in a weird way, he's not as exciting to people because the way that he got here is sort of odd. A lot of people don't think about the fact that he was a top 100 player in the country.
Yeah.
At one point,
Obviously extremely talented.
And then, I mean, I just go back to that Minnesota game. If Adrian Martinez, and this is where this offense, you can have great wide receivers. Adrian has to hit these guys because Martin was streaking wide open down the field.
But we all mentioned how he kind of came on at the end of last year, and maybe I would just have to go back and watch those games. I have stayed far away from the 2020 game film, to be honest with you. But he had 5 catches for 63 yards the whole year.
Yeah.
So I know for Manning, it's like he only was targeted once and he only played in one game last year, but he was out, and Martin was in there. And maybe some of it has to do with the fact that, they were just really discombobulated on the offensive side of the ball in general. So we should throw that out the window too. But I don't know. Some of that to me is like, we've seen him be out there and it's not like overwhelmingly impressive.
You haven't seen him be out there a whole lot, though.
Yeah.
I mean, his reps definitely went. So the reason he's talked about in December is all of a sudden in the Purdue game, he started getting more opportunities. And so he wasn't really playing before that.
Here's a question. Speaking of the wide receivers, what do we do with the Wyatt Lever, Levi Falk group? Like, they're still going to be factors here,
So,
right?
yeah. So I guess if I was drawing out how the top 6 sort of looks to me at this point in time, Samori Toure, Oliver Martin, Xavier Betts, Omar Manning. So that's 4.
Okay. So you have Omar in the top 4.
Yeah, I do.
Above Lever and Falk.
I think at the end of the year, assuming he plays, his production will be higher than those guys.
Okay.
I think they exist in. I mean, you might see those guys more when Nebraska's trying to run because they're good run blockers. I mean, that gets brought up all the time about it. Wyatt Lever, he is more explosive than people realize, too. You go look at those testing numbers in the offseason.
For sure.
He was popping up there. I think it would probably go for me, Lever, Nixon, Falk.
Nixon. That's another one, too.
I don't forget about William Nixon.
It's so funny because Falk was last year, Nebraska's leading receivers were Wandale, Austin Allen, Xavier Betts, and Falk actually had more catches than Betts. But
Betts had like 6 catches, right?
Betts had 12 catches last
Really?
year. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
How many of them came in the Northwestern game?
I could check out the game log.
No, I might be thinking of.
You're probably thinking of Marcus Fleming, who had 5 catches and had
75 yards. Yeah.
75 yards in that game, and that was more than Oliver Martin had the entire year.
Yeah,
like it was so kind of messed up from how it went last year. Obviously, 2020 game log for Xavier Betts. He had 2 catches in the loss to Northwestern. 2 in the
the 5 catches
State.
against Purdue was kind of his big game.
5 catches against Purdue. Yeah, the 2 for 54 against Penn State was the one was on a end around jet sweep, whatever. Just 1 touchdown. I don't know. I think he's ready to kind of make that jump, though. I feel more confident about him than most other people. So to people's points, like I understand why we're not all full in on like these wide receivers are going to be a problem this year, because the stats just haven't backed it up. But as a group, I think they're more talented, and I think the offense will just generally be healthier, and not healthier like health wise, but just in better kind of moving.
I think
condition.
efficient is almost what you're looking for there. I mean, if Adrian is efficient as a passer and Nebraska runs the ball efficiently with their running backs, those wide receivers are going to be able to put up numbers. I mean, I have little doubt on that. And like I said, I would put Toure at 1, and then for me, like I said, it would go Martin, Betts, Manning. It's your 4, and then from there you get into the Lever, Nixon, Falk, and then I think there's a cut line there. I don't know that there's any because Alante Brown is basically the next guy, and he's been too banged up. I don't know that there's any other receiver that warrants mentioning at this point. I think there's a lot of reason to be excited about a Kamani Grimes.
Yeah, he seems
down the line.
He seems to be in the mix there in the return game a little bit.
So maybe you see him more as a specialist, but I don't think either Neville or Hardy are going to be out there this year. That's basically it when you're talking wide receivers.
And then you throw on Austin Allen and Travis Vogt.
Right. Well. Yeah. Yep. Well, and then if you're including those guys, then I would probably, assuming health again, there's a chance that Austin Allen could be one of the 3 leading receivers by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that those guys split enough reps between them that they don't, combined it's 3rd, but individually it's not.
You know how it's split between the top 2 guys in catches last year for Nebraska? Wan'Dale Robinson had 51 catches.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Allen was next with 18.
Yeah. Nebraska needs options.
Yeah.
And they need a quarterback that can find those options. And so that's where Adrian has to he has to be better. I mean, there's no question about that.
More up next on Happer and Schaefer.
More of Happer and Schaefer is coming your way on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I sleep through the night better, and I feel a little more energy. And oddly enough, I am seeing improvements in my hair, which I never even thought about. It used to just come out by the handful when it got really long like it's doing now. And if I had a hoodie on, it would be full of hair. It doesn't do that anymore, and I'm starting to see areas where it was receding, starting to fill back in. And I can tell that because I have a couple of age spots in those areas, and I'm not seeing them. They're disappearing because of new hair growth, which I thought was really strange. But I'm happy with that. So I like it. Works good. I'm feeling it.
Get a wide variety of all your daily recommended servings of whole fruits and vegetables without having to leave your home. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FREEDOM.
Another packed fall season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Right now, they have tons of Oktoberfest beers, and you can check out their Cosmic Eye and Glacial Till selections as their beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage shop at 1801 Oak Street.
Baseball's back, Lincoln, and that means Fireworks Fridays are too. Come out to Haymarket Park for Friday home games to celebrate the Lincoln Salt Dogs' 20th season with baseball, giveaways, and of course, post-game fireworks. We're glad to have you back in the stands. Watch us light up the sky for our celebration season. Get your tickets to the best night out in Lincoln at saltdogs.com.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center in Waverly is now hiring for all shifts. They're a 24/7 facility and a clean environment to work in. There's potential to earn up to $25.25 per hour with opportunities for overtime. They also offer a retention bonus as new team members are eligible for a bonus as high as $1,000. Come be a part of the Tractor Supply team. Apply today at www.tractorsupply.jobs.
From Alfred Hitchfield, the master of suspense.
They're growing. Today, there are 1,000. And tomorrow, there will be 2,000.
Comes a tale of mystery, and multiplication.
In a year, it'll be 365,000 and 3,650,000 in 10 years.
Wait a minute. What are we talking about here?
The dollars you get if you win Lucky for Life from the Nebraska Lottery. $1,000 a day for life.
What's with the scary music?
We do lots of movie trailers. Force of habit.
Top prize odds 1 in 30 million. You know that music. It's the theme for America's favorite spooky family. And we've got them. Play $5 The Addams Family Fortune, the new scratch ticket from the Nebraska Lottery. The top prize is $50,000, and you can choose from frighteningly fun tickets featuring Gomez, Morticia, Uncle Fester, and other classic characters. And see The Addams Family 2 in theaters October 11th. So lurch into a Nebraska Lottery retailer and pay a visit to The Addams Family. Top prize odds 1 in 96,000.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
We're going to the West Coast here to talk to Vince in Napa, California. Vince, you're on early break. Go ahead, man.
As far as this turnover issue, I mean,
Yes.
it's hard. I mean, obviously, it's no secret that that's been a major problem the last decade. Now, Sip, Jake, I mean, you guys will appreciate this one. The offense has been like the red hot chili peppers. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Homeowners who have not refinanced are leaving a ton of money on the table. Make sure you're not one of them. It just takes a quick call to American Financing, America's home for home loans. You'll get a free, no-obligation mortgage review. No pressure, no upfront or hidden fees. Just a simple conversation around ways you can save up to $1,000 a month, all without starting your term over. That's right, they can do any term 10 years and over, and you may be able to postpone 2 mortgage payments, creating even greater upfront savings. Imagine what you can do with that money. Then pick up the phone and call American Financing. They're open now, and they're open nights and weekends, so they're always available when you need them. 800-777-8109. That's 800-777-8109. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net. American Financing, NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
You're listening to Happer and Schaefer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here on Happer Schaefer, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Tyler in Phoenix says on the text line, here's a good one. Let's say Adrian has a similar completion percentage as last year. How different does it look in terms of yardage and touchdowns, knowing the new weapons and targets he has? Well, okay, so a couple
He had a
things.
71% completion percentage last year.
71.5. So keep this in mind. Let's not forget he had the 71.5 completion percentage because they did not throw it past 8 yards down the field for like after Adrian came back.
Yeah.
They really, really toned it back. Now, if he has the weapons, they'll have opportunities to take shots, but that is one of the more curious things for me. Just like how much do they put on Adrian's shoulders? What do they feel like he can do? Because last year it was pretty obvious they didn't really think much of him as a downfield passer, right? Just by the way they called plays. Are they able to get open? Are they able to get looks? Either they didn't think much of him as a downfield passer, or there was nobody that was getting open downfield. They just stopped sending those guys on routes, which that's definitely possible too, or that's part of it.
He averaged less than 7 yards an attempt last year.
Yeah.
Which, to put in perspective from his freshman year, where he threw for 2,600 yards, he averaged, got to do the quick calculation, 7.5 yards. So that doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a difference because it does mean that you're attempting to throw further downfield.
Like, I'm not trying to toss water on this because it's not. I love the idea that Nebraska is going to have better weapons this year. And I've been talking about nonstop over the last couple of weeks, how, just important of a thing that is for this offense. But I'm still curious to see exactly how it would go. I don't think we could expect Adrian to have that high of a completion percentage this year because I think they'll take more shots. That's just kind of so you can't copy and paste completion percentage and then, add the production on top of it, because part of the reason the completion percentage was so high is because the production was so low.
You think Do you think it's fair to just kind of split the middle of a 71% in 2020 and a 59% in 2019 and put it somewhere around 66?
If they could get anything over 65 from him, I think it's good.
Yeah, I agree with that. And especially if there's some yardage that goes along with it too. So
if they could have a normal, normal year.
Do you think he can throw for more than 3,000 yards?
I do.
Because they haven't really been close. 2018, I mean, he was injured a couple games in there, but he still was at 2,600 yards on 347 attempts, which isn't.
I mean, he racked a whole bunch of yards up, but
it's tough because if they're leading, then he's not having to throw as much, and if they're running more, he's.
Well, that's also where the quarterback run thing comes into this too. If they lay off that a little bit, they can afford to throw it around a little bit. And if they have better weapons in the pass game, those guys will be making plays. You don't have to throw it downfield all the time to get your yards.
And the other thing is if they have some explosive plays, which they're generally devoid of.
So they haven't had any of those the last 2 years.
Right. So then it's like if you have, and it's not like you don't have to throw a 6-yard bomb, but if you hit like a 25-yard crosser and Xavier Betts makes a guy miss and then houses it, that's the kind of way that you can pump your yardage up.
Yep.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. So it's not exactly a copy and paste. It's not exactly a one-to-one there. But yeah, and Tyler in Phoenix follows up. He says it was just a theoretical of how juicy this offense could be. Definitely. Yeah.
There's juice in the offense.
It could be juicy.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, we'll take
the good kind of juice, not like grape juice, which nobody likes.
Nobody likes grape juice?
Grape juice is the worst of the fruit juices. Rico does not like this steak.
What is grape juice? What I've only had the artificial like Welch's grape juice.
Yeah.
That counts?
Yeah, I would assume it would count.
That's obviously not as good as like orange juice.
Yeah, orange juice is the goat of the fruit juices.
For sure.
Rico's here to Rico it up.
Orange juice, grape juice, apple juice.
I could hear an
I'm
argument.
not on apple juice.
I could hear an argument for grape juice being better than apple juice, but both are such worse options than orange juice.
Well, orange juice is just the goat of fruit juices.
No doubt.
There's no you can't touch orange juice.
I mean, there's other ones in there. There's like cranberry. There's grapefruit. There's
nobody drinks those to drink those.
Old people drink them.
Nobody drinks those to actually drink them.
They drink them because they lost their taste buds and they need that harsh taste.
Yeah. See, nobody.
But people drinks them.
People drinks them.
People drinks them.
Nobody actually likes them.
I speaks English.
Nobody actually likes grapefruit or cranberry juice. You drink cranberry juice when you I don't know why you drink cranberry juice, but grapefruit juice is just disgusting.
Isn't it like a diuretic?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, that's why you drink cranberry juice.
You need to take a dump or something like that.
Something with kidney stones, maybe.
We're all doctors here.
I hope this isn't information that shouldn't have been said on the air, but Sipple the other day at practice was like jumping around, and I was like, Sipple, what are you doing? And he's like, I got kidney stones. I can feel them coming on. He's like, this happens.
I can feel them coming on.
This
just
happens.
Jumping help.
This happens all the time. And I'm like, what are you trying to do? And he's like, well, just trying to move it around. I was
gotta
like,
dislodge
there's
it.
no way. I trust you because you seemingly have had a lot of experience with this, but there's no way that's actually working.
Yeah, you jump around, it dislodges them. I don't know. That's
drinking lots of liquids for frequent urination is a key for this method. Urologists may also recommend movement like bicycling and jumping jacks to help dislodge the stones.
Incredible.
Naturally.
Wow.
Steve Sipple.
Sipple's a genius.
He can feel it coming on.
I would watch a show called Steve Sipple Medicine Man. Like Dr. Quinn.
Steve Sipple.
Here's how you do it. You just jump around a little bit.
Medicine Man. You got to be careful.
Let's take a break. We'll come back next on Happer Schaefer.
You're listening to Happer and Schaefer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year automatically, with no limit on how much you can earn. How amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing because of all the places where Discover is accepted. According to the 2021 Nielsen report, over 99% of places in the United States that take credit cards take the Discover card. So get used to hearing the word yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen report. Limitations apply.
Everyone loves a good deal, and there's plenty of great options right now at Brown Shoe Fit for their summer clearance sale. Check out their multiple sizes and widths and sandals with brands like Clark's, Keen, Atrex, and many more. Hurry in for the best selection because this sale only goes to the end of the month. It's the summer clearance sale at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is still South Lincoln's go-to sports bar, but it has a different look to it now. Come check out the new remodeled layout and enjoy the game on any of their variety of TVs, whether it's college football, NFL, college hoops, or anything else. You'll find it there with great beer specials to choose from and nightly food specials. Half-pound hamburger and fries for only $7.99 on Wednesdays and French dips on Saturday nights. And make sure to try out their famous chicken lips, too. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center in Waverly is now hiring for all shifts. They're a 24/7 facility and a clean environment to work in. There's potential to earn up to $25.25 per hour with opportunities for overtime. They also offer a retention bonus as new team members are eligible for a bonus as high as $1,000. Come be a part of the Tractor Supply team. Apply today at www.tractorsupply.jobs.
A lower mortgage rate can make a noticeable difference on your budget. It's true. You could be saving hundreds of dollars a month simply by refinancing to one of these incredibly low rates. Think of how much that can help. Then pick up the phone and call American Financing, and do it now before rates get any higher. I mean it. Rates are expected to rise later this year. You really should not miss out on what's available now. After all, it only takes a 10-minute call to get started. You'll get a free no-obligation mortgage review, which will tell you if you can save up to $1,000 a month without resetting your term. You can choose any term 10 years and over, so don't put this off any longer. Call American Financing right now at 800-777-8109. That's 800-777-8109. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net. American Financing, NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We'll see a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this morning, and then another round of storms will be possible late this afternoon into this evening and could hold a bit of a severe weather threat. We should top out near 90, drop to 64 for the low tonight. Much cooler tomorrow and comfortable with a high of around 83. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now that the heat waves are hitting, who wants to turn on their oven right now? Instead, get outside. Start cooking all your meals on a Traeger wood-fired grill. Fueled by all natural hardwood pellets, Traeger grills enhance everything you cook with incredible wood-fired flavor. And on top of that, Traeger offers the versatility to grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, barbecue. 6-in-1 versatility, all in one grill. The possibilities are endless. Pulled pork, a pizza, even a pie, cocktails, all fair game with the Traeger. Plus, Traeger makes cooking delicious food incredibly simple. Controlling the grill's temperature is as easy as using an oven. Just pick the temperature you want. The Traeger will do the rest of the work for you. And with Wi-Fi or technology, control your grill right from your phone using the Traeger app. That means you can monitor what you cook and change grill settings while you're out there doing yard work or lounging by the air conditioning. Learn more. Go to a local dealer or visit TraegerGrills.com/DP show.
At Koppel, you can shop online for the most affordable crossovers, SUVs, cars, and trucks. They have new Chevrolet and GMC or used inventory, all at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Sean Callahan, and before I got my car at Koppel, I shopped online at KoppelCars.com. I found a vehicle I liked. Then I drove that money-saving mile to Koppel in Louisville. You should too. It was just minutes from I-80 or at KoppelCars.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket. Happer and Schaefer.
It says I take no joy in life. I can see that.
Coming at you live from Koppel Chevrolet GMC Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Why are you yelling at me?
Whatever, make me a bicycle clown.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Connor Happer.
You might want to look away for this.
Mike Schaefer.
My boy's awake and smart.
This is Happer and Schaefer.
Welcome in, final hour. Hour number 3 of Happer and Schaefer here on 93.7 The Ticket and the ticketfm.com. 11 o'clock, Bach and Nick will take over for the show called Tom and Bach. That will last until 2. The last hour of which you're going to get little Drop the Mic with Mike Welch and Jake Bachhoven. It'll be a great throwback. And they'll be at McKinney's at 8th and P in the Haymarket. And we'll be out there all afternoon and into the evening. So stop on by, please, to help celebrate our 10th anniversary here at 93.7 The Ticket. And we'll get some old people together and we'll have some fun. And you guys can have a beer and share some memories, whatever you got to do.
I like fun.
Schaefer, when did you start coming on The Ticket?
I started coming on. So even back at the beginning days, I would occasionally pop on. Gaskins would have me on to talk about recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
I did that when he was with I want to say the late afternoon show with him and Jake. When he did that.
Makes
and
sense.
then I don't remember when Sorensen and Lanny first invited me on Morning Take. And initially it was a phone call, and then there was always issues with the phone system, or there's just like issues. And so it's like, I live close enough, I'm just going to start showing up.
Okay.
And so then that turned into me just showing up earlier and earlier and then being there for an entire hour. So
awesome.
It basically morphed into that. But I would say that was probably like late stages Bo Pelini, 2014, 2013, 2014. I met you first through Morning Break. There was just one day where there was a third person. Well, at that point, a fourth person, because I was in here.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is a new person.
Yep.
And then
Random
you
guy.
ended up taking over at some point.
Mm-hmm. After Lanny left.
Yep. And I think I'd stuck around through that. I don't remember. It all just sort of blends together.
Well, that's basically where it started, though.
Yeah. But I would say that I was probably on in 2012 is when I probably first started making appearances on the Ticket.
So you've been on for a while.
Yeah.
Since the start.
I have
basically.
Once I busted down the door of radio, I have found my way on many shows, some that still exist, many that do not, some that never should have started, some KRNU shows.
Oh,
I've done a lot of different radio. I was actually thinking about if I could list every station in Nebraska that I've been on. And I'd have to sit down and think about it. But
jeez.
Yeah.
And are they all sports?
Yeah,
radio?
Occasionally. Well, I mean, there's been some like morning shows that I've been on, and some,
just to talk Huskers for a moment.
Mm-hmm. I've been on some like afternoon shows that are normally like politically bent shows where it's like, the spring game's coming up, so we're gonna bring in this guy to talk about it.
Awesome.
Somehow my name got drawn for that.
Cool.
So,
out of all the people, you ever wonder like, why'd you pick me?
I think, and I know Sipple's in the same realm with this too, because he's done a lot of stuff. If you make yourself available for things, people call.
Yep.
And so, and I learned pretty quickly, like, in order to kind of, learn and grow, like, you have to say yes to a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I said yes to seemingly everything. And then it got to a point where there was too many interviews in a week, and I had to start telling some people no.
Well,
and you just kind of pick and choose your spots from there.
And then you got a radio show, and then you got a bigger radio show.
Oh, well, and then once I ended up with a radio show, a bunch of people couldn't have me on anymore. So
sorry,
that eliminated those shows. It was, it's just how it worked.
And now we have a big fat radio show.
Yeah.
Our big fat radio show. The same couple.
I like it. Okay, so we haven't talked about this last night. You and I went to the Storm Chasers Clippers game.
Yes.
And several moments came out of that game, including a guy who must have just heard us talking, and he got up to leave with his kids, and he's like, Schaefer? Happer?
Mm-hmm.
Love the show.
It's amazing. Like maybe he's listening right now. Maybe he's been listening
we appreciate it
for the entire existence of our show.
Yeah.
Or maybe he didn't know that this show in particular existed, and he was just a fan of the recruiting hour. Hard to tell.
Whichever show that we've done that he liked, but he knew both of us.
He did. Yeah,
and then he told us that he loved the show. And so I got a real big kick out of that. I tweeted about this last night. I wish that I had heard the beginning of the conversation, but I just caught the tail end of it, where a guy that was sitting a row in front of us. It was a group of 4. Is him, his friend, and I assume their wives. I don't know. Maybe I'm making a strong assumption. There was 2 men and 2 women. We'll put it that way. For some reason, the 1978 football season pops up. I don't know what prompted this or why, but I just overhear, and we beat Oklahoma, and we finally beat Oklahoma, and then the next week we lose to Missouri, and then we got to play Oklahoma again, and it's like, well, bleep. And we're in the 5th or 6th
I
inning.
didn't hear this.
Yeah.
And you were like, did you hear this? What was going on? I'm like, no.
It's just one of those things, like, you just catch it. Like, you're, when you're in a public space like that, and people, and I have a loud voice, so I'm sure many people have heard the conversations I'm having all the time. That guy had a relatively loud voice. And then
people started tweeting at you specifically about the 1978 Oklahoma game. It just started this whole conversation.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things. It's been attempted before, if I'm not mistaken, but there could definitely be a show or podcast format where you just deep dive on one singular Nebraska game.
Yep.
You just pick one, and it starts entire conversations because everyone in the state remembers where they were for a specific
if they were
game,
alive for it,
if they were
absolutely,
alive for it, or how they watched it, or what they were thinking during the time. And there are certain games that stand out more than others. Obviously, there have been bigger games, but I'm more interested in the weird, random ones.
Yeah. The thing about, for me, being that I wasn't alive during that time, and generally the Husker history that I have sort of just stops at 1993, because that's, anything before that I don't know, didn't see, didn't think of.
Yeah.
And then you get little blips, right? Like, you have the championship seasons, about the scoring explosion in that team because they came up short against Miami. So you have like these little, certain players and names like I Am Hip and all these different things. But I know nothing about the 78 season other than it was the one time in that stretch that Osborne defeated Oklahoma, and it looked like Nebraska was going to be playing for a national championship. And then they had lost to Alabama to start the year. They lose to Missouri. They have to play Oklahoma again. And so it turned into a 9-3 season where it looked like it could have been much more. And so there's all these little seasons in there where it's like, I know nothing about 1986 Nebraska, for instance, or 1975 Nebraska.
So they played Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl?
Yeah.
That was allowed?
Bowl games were different. Yeah.
You just took whatever teams showed up?
Selected. Well, yeah. I mean, not whatever team showed up, but they took the top teams that they had they could have access to.
When did conferences start getting into the whole bowl? When did that start separating?
I think it got a little bit more finalized in the 80s and 90s, and then obviously it changed again when the BCS was ushered in.
Sure.
And then of course changed again as the college football playoff gets ushered in. But if you talk to some people like Brian Christopherson, he sort of like has this nostalgia for what the bowl season kind of used to be, where it slotted out that way, because now the games seem to have a little less relevance, because people just don't care about the matchups as much because the college football playoff has superseded the rest of those bowl games.
There's a handful of other ones that still matter to me. Like you're always, when you wake up on New Year's, I mean, it's the New Year's Day ones, really. It's not the non-playoff New Year's Day ones, like the ones in Florida with the Big Ten teams, whoever they're playing with. It's probably it's usually a Big Ten team and an SEC team, and then so I
basically like your Big Four of the Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the Fiesta Bowl.
Yes, but I'm talking about the other ones that matter too. Like I really enjoy I always get them confused because I don't know. I think it's the Outback Bowl.
Outback is in Tampa, and
that's
the Capital
on New Year's
One
Day.
Bowl is in Orlando.
Those both matter to me, and those are usually Big Ten teams in those games. But basically, anything that happens before New Year's has lost a ton of importance. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Like we were mentioning the other day how that really good Nebraska team in
the 2000 Nebraska team dusted
2000.
Northwestern.
They had to play Northwestern in the Alamo Bowl. It was like, that team was way better than being in the Alamo Bowl.
Right. Yeah. There's certain bowls that just have no like good stigma attached to it. And the Alamo Bowl, it's like if you're playing in that, it's like your season didn't go how you thought it was going.
I know, but then
But if Nebraska played in the Alamo Bowl this year, everyone would be fired up about it. They can't because it's not contractually obligated to the Big Ten
What
anymore.
are the Big Ten's bowl games?
Let's see. So they still have the Pinstripe Bowl, which I think is the Mecca.
Shut up.
Music City Bowl.
So it's the same as last year.
The Vegas Bowl.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the same as last year. It didn't turn over this year. They'll turn it over next year, and then it'll switch.
So run through them.
So they have Rose, Citrus, Outback, Vegas, Music City, Pinstripe, Guaranteed Rate.
Guaranteed Rate is in Phoenix. That's the it used to be the Insight.com Bowl.
Oh, okay. Red Box, which used to be the Foster Farms Bowl.
Yes.
Shout out Nebraska. And the Quick Lane Bowl. Also
which was a Little Caesars Pizza Bowl for a while.
And yeah, that's right. Wasn't it something about tires too?
No, that is
It's like the Meineke Car Care Bowl or something like that.
It's down in North Carolina, and that's now the Belk Bowl.
Well, the Belk Bowl is now the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Right, yeah.
We should do that. We should go through old bowl
We
game
really
sponsors.
should. We really should. There was my dad always commented that Nebraska once played in like the Blue Bonnet Bowl, and I never looked to see whether this was true or not.
The Blue Bonnet Bowl. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that
It might be
in the archives. Hey, by the way, Todd from the game last night.
Yeah, it was a thing.
He texted in. He says he recognized our voices.
That's awesome. Thanks for
shout out Todd.
Hopefully Todd enjoyed the game yesterday.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
He kind of left early. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he didn't want to see that foul ball home run that we saw.
And me get my free T-shirt, or really my wife get the free T-shirt and then give it to me.
Yeah. I mean, you got a T-shirt.
It had granola bars on it.
You got a Sunbelt T-shirt. And my wife got a hot dog T-shirt. So it was a big night.
It's a huge win.
It was a big night.
And they were selling $2 beers. It was good.
Did Nebraska ever play in this? They did. They beat Texas Tech.
I have seen it.
The game was in the Astrodome. It was December 31st, 1976.
Nice.
In front of 48,618 screaming fans.
Okay.
Nebraska won 27-24 in the Blue Bonnet Bowl.
So let's just slot this out real quick with the bowls this year. Let's do our own miniature bowl projections.
Love it.
Okay, so let's just assume Ohio State's going to the playoff.
Yes.
Rose Bowl, Wisconsin, or Minnesota, maybe.
Yeah,
or Penn State.
Penn State.
Yeah.
I'd actually probably more likely put Penn State than the other two teams there.
Citrus Bowl is next. That gets one of those.
Let's say Minnesota is in the Citrus Bowl.
Outback seems like an Iowa.
Well, I don't think Iowa's going to be that good.
You think
this
Iowa's
year.
down?
Yeah, I think Iowa's down. I would say Indiana, Wisconsin.
Okay, I'm down on Indiana.
Okay.
So this could be where Wisconsin comes into play.
Okay.
Versus an SEC team, which would be fun. And I'm sure they would win.
And we're right at the point now where the next couple bowl games, I would have Nebraska or Iowa or whoever from the East.
Okay,
Michigan.
So it's the big next three.
Yeah.
Vegas, which put me in Vegas.
I was going to say, I feel like if Nebraska fans could pick the bowl destination,
It'd be Vegas.
It would be either,
like realistic bowl.
Right. It would either be Vegas or the season's good enough that they end up in the Outback Bowl because that's one fans have wanted to go to. Nebraska's never played in.
Vegas, Music City, Pinstripe.
Good. Well, actually, so Vegas is great.
Yeah.
Good because they've already played it, and otherwise the Music City Bowl would be, people would love that.
Was that a good experience?
People loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Nebraska
People
didn't
love
win,
Nashville. Yeah.
but it's drivable. Nashville's awesome. The stadium's right across from Broadway, so it's it's accessible. They did a really nice job hosting it. I think people really like that. And then the Pinstripe Bowl would be. So I said, great,
You hate
good.
the Pinstripe Bowl.
I don't. I want Nebraska to play in it, if only for Michael Bruns to just tell me how much he hates me every day of the rest of his life. But I don't think people would be very excited.
Yeah, what is up with media people and hating the Pinstripe Bowl?
A Tuesday 3:00 start in an open air press box on December 27th doesn't have anyone fired up
In New York.
in New York.
But it's at a baseball stadium. I don't know. I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I don't know that.
You would have like a special Nebraska Yankee, like you could do like a patch or something like that. I don't know. You could do pinstripe pants.
I think like people would talk themselves into being like reasonably excited for Nebraska just being in a bowl game. You get a million.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take anything we can get at this
You
point.
would get a million Gotham Bowl stories leading up to it.
Sure.
Like, especially if Nebraska plays Miami in it, and then we get this is when Devaney turned it around. So
nice.
Was that laced with enough
A little,
sardonic?
yeah. I picked up on it.
So I don't think it's the worst of them, but given Vegas and Nashville is the other.
Oh no,
options.
there are worse.
Yeah.
You do not want to go to Detroit.
Like, is this a life segment or?
Generally, don't go to Detroit, but you don't want to go to Detroit for this bowl game, the Quick Lane Bowl versus a MAC team. You want to avoid that at all costs.
I would say the guaranteed rate would rank pretty highly for Nebraska fans who love Arizona as it is, anyways.
I put that outside of, like, if it's
it's on the
tiered out,
wrong side of Christmas, isn't it?
If it's I'm not sure when the date is. If it's tiered out, it's like obviously Rose Bowl's on its own tier, and then you have Citrus, Outback. They're both New Year's Day. Like, that'd be great if Nebraska did that. That's tier number 2. Tier number 3 is like reachable, realistic tier for Nebraska. Vegas, Music City, Pinstripe. And then there's another tier below. There might be 2 more tiers below that. And that's guaranteed rate, which is the Phoenix one, Red Box, which is formerly known as the Foster Farms Bowl, and Duke's Mayo. And that's Charlotte.
Yeah.
Those are
all fine.
Those are all fine
Yeah.
places to go to, but it's a bad bowl and it's before Christmas, I think, and you're playing rough teams. Then you do not want to go to the Quick Lane Bowl.
Right. Can we just go ahead and say that Nebraska should be playing to get to the Vegas Bowl? Like, that should be their destination of choice.
So it's yes.
I mean,
you think 7 wins would get them to Vegas?
I think they'd have to go 8-4.
Well, let's do it.
I think they can go 8-4. I don't know that I think they will go 8-4, but I think 8-4 gets them there.
I think they can go 8-4.
So the Vegas Bowl was played at UNLV Stadium, will now be played in the new Alliant Stadium.
Yes.
For the Raiders.
Correct.
Which
And
makes it an even better situation.
If I'm not mistaken, they did not have this game last year.
No, they didn't play it last year.
They didn't play it, yeah.
There's a lot of bowl games that didn't get played.
So there's a note here on where I'm reading this from, collegefootballnews.com. Big Ten alternates with the SEC between the Vegas and the Duke's Mayo over 6 seasons. So the Big Ten will have Vegas in 2021, but not Duke's Mayo.
Yeah. Okay, so Duke's Mayo is out.
Duke's Mayo is out. Vegas is in. Duke's Mayo is out.
Okay, I can live with that.
We got to go 8-4. We're going to Vegas, and Nebraska will run all over. Let's see, a Pac-12 team by the name of
Stanford.
Oh, that would be fun.
I was just trying to think of a matchup that's unique because they played so many of those teams.
Get like an 8 or 9 win. Could you find an 8 or 9 win Colorado there?
I don't know if they're going to win that many games.
Is that too good?
I don't know if Carl Durrell is going to get that thing rolling.
They lost their quarterback.
Oregon State isn't making a bowl game. Washington seems like that could be
okay. Washington
seems like they could be in line for that.
You come full circle. You run over
if
Buki.
Chip Kelly gets it going. Nebraska, UCLA, another bowl game between them with Scott Frost versus Chip Kelly has a little sauce to it.
Marquise Stepp runs
Would
over.
Tab meet us in Vegas?
Yeah, I think so.
We probably wouldn't be there.
Marquise Stepp runs over Buki Radley Hiles.
Oh, no.
And Scott Frost gets up on the stage and proudly proclaims that Nebraska is back and they're here to stay.
I don't think anyone should do any proclaiming after the game.
Scott Frost, he's a proclaimer.
We got to eliminate. He's not a sloganeer. He doesn't need a proclaimer. He doesn't need to
At
walk
least
500
a share.
miles. A share of what? You want it outright.
At least a share of the Las Vegas Bowl.
You want it outright, Coach.
No, at least a share. All right, let's take a break. More up next.
Follow Connor and Mike on Twitter at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer. You're listening to Happer and Schaefer.
At Koppel, you can shop online for the most affordable crossovers, SUVs, cars, and trucks. They have new Chevrolet and GMC or used inventory, all at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Sean Callahan, and before I got my car at Koppel, I shopped online at koppelcars.com. I found a vehicle I liked, then I drove that money-saving mile to Koppel in Louisville. You should too. It was just minutes from I-80 or at koppelcars.com. Right
now in Nebraska, over 150 AmeriCorps members are using their talent and passion to make our communities better. AmeriCorps is all about overcoming the challenges our country faces through compassion and teamwork. And the best part, every AmeriCorps adventure is unique. Find out what AmeriCorps can be for you by starting your own adventure today. Learn more about AmeriCorps programming in Nebraska by checking out Serve Nebraska on social media. Sponsored by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Angie's List is now Angie. Summer is the perfect time to book your next home project. From lawn care to a new patio, Angie makes it simple to connect with pros who can get the job done right. See reviews, upfront pricing, and instantly book hundreds of projects. Plus, when you book and pay through Angie, we'll cover your project up to the full purchase price, plus limited damage protection with our Happiness Guarantee. Check out Angie.com, and for more on the Happiness Guarantee, go to Angie.com/happiness-guarantee.htm.
Beat the heat and save on a new cooling system from John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Combine new system rebates and LES incentives to save up to $2,500. Don't wait until your old system breaks down in the middle of summer. Take advantage of these great offers and beat the heat. Go to jhlincoln.com or give
John Henry's
a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
New owners means new lunch specials at the Fox Bar and Grill. They've just introduced tons of options on their new under $10 lunch menu. Small nachos grande, a classic cheeseburger, 4 boneless or traditional wings and fries, or a small single topping pizza for just $5 each. Try the mushroom Swiss burger or the pepper jack stack burger for just $6. And for just $7, try any of the classic steak Philly, club wrap, grilled chicken salad, or grilled southwestern salad. It's the under $10 lunch menu at the Fox Bar and Grill, just south of 14th and Pine Lake.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
We're going to the West Coast here to talk to Vince in Napa, California. Vince, you're on early break. Go ahead, man.
As far as this turnover issue, I mean,
Yes.
it's hard. I mean, obviously, it's no secret that that's been a major problem the last decade. Now, Sip, Jake, I mean, you guys will appreciate this one. The offense has been like the red hot chili peppers. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Everyone loves a good deal, and there's plenty of great options right now at Brown Shoe Fit for their summer clearance sale. Check out their multiple sizes and widths and sandals with brands like Clark's, Keen, Atrex, and many more. Hurry in for the best selection because this sale only goes to the end of the month. It's the summer clearance sale at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
U.S. national debt is expected to approach $89 trillion by 2029, according to Forbes. Real inflation rate is estimated to be upwards of 10%. Think about that. What that means. Gas, food, everything is going up in price more than it has since 1992. We're going backward. Soon enough, the $1 million you've tucked away for retirement will not even last you a year. You need to store the value of your money, and you need to do it fast. A precious metals IRA acts like a dam, holding inflation back. It's easy to set up and will keep you out of trouble. Noble Gold specializes in storing the value of your wealth through gold IRAs, so they're the natural choice. This month, they're offering a 1-ounce American Eagle solid silver proof coin with every IRA or 401k taken out. Not many people can smile to themselves when the inflation figures come out, but with Noble Gold, you'll be okay. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com. That's NobleGoldInvestments.com.
You're listening to Happer and Schaefer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yeah, a couple people mentioned on the text line, 1976 Blue Bonnet Bowl. Nebraska beats Texas Tech, but people wanted Osborne out. Gaskins texted in, he said after the Blue Bonnet Bowl in 76, boosters told Osborne he would have been fired if Nebraska would have lost after growing frustration of going 0-4 against Oklahoma. So he stayed on for about another 20 years, which I think turned out pretty well.
It all worked out good.
Yeah, it turned out pretty well.
It all
See, that's
worked
why you
out
shouldn't
good.
fire Scott Frost.
I'm trying to find a box score of it.
We're one Blue Bonnet Bowl away from winning a national championship game in 20 years. So can't wait for that. I found that Wikipedia page for it. 27-24 was your final.
Texas Tech had more first downs. Nebraska was 14 of 24 passing for 232 yards.
Cool. Who's their quarterback?
Vince Ferragamo.
Oh,
This is
nice.
when they had a passing quarterback.
Nice, big time.
Mark DeFriends caught a 22-yard pass from Vince Ferragamo late in the second quarter. Gave Nebraska its second score of the game. They were down 17-14 at that point. Texas Tech goes up 24-14, and Nebraska roars back with 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. No one scored in the fourth.
Chuck Melito scored on a 23-yard pass from Ferragamo with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, and there was no scoring left in the game.
The defense.
Nebraska's Reg Gast recovered a Texas Tech fumble with 1:34 left in the game to seal it for Nebraska, who rallied twice from 10-point deficits. Wow. Saved Osborne's career. Incredible game in Husker history. Do a podcast about that one.
Look at I found a picture
Talk
of
to
the
Vince
ticket
Ferragamo
from the game. Tickets used to look cooler than they do now. Now they're all just that blank, like printed off.
They're on the phones now.
Well, but even then, like when you get a physical ticket, it just all looks the same.
Do you have a box of like tickets in your house?
I did when I was younger. I don't anymore. I just kind of at one point it's like, what am I going to do with these?
I have them.
Yeah.
I don't know how far it goes back, but from some of the memorable games that I've been to, the wild card game, just, that one's stowed away real tight. I actually have a ticket from
stowed away real tight.
Yeah.
It actually physically can't move. It's between the pages of my program.
No air gets to that sucker. They gave us, because of our affiliation with the Royals at the time, we went down in the season after they went to the season after they won the World Series, maybe. And they ended up I ended up with a ticket that would have been to Game 6 of the World Series when they beat the Mets. The Royals beat the Mets, and the game that never, of course, got played because they won in Game 5. And I still have that ticket, and I thought that was pretty cool, even though it was not a game at all. And we also got the rally towels that would have been used in Game 6 and 7 as well. I have that somewhere. It's just a white towel.
Yeah.
Would have been a cool sight on TV.
I think I got a rally towel when I went to Game 1 of the 2016 ALDS. And so
you went to Game 1 of the 2016 ALDS?
Yeah, I went out to.
You just got up and left.
So it was Cleveland. Cleveland played Boston, but the bye week schedule perfect for that weekend. There was no Nebraska game.
Nice.
The schedule was going to drop for the playoffs, and so I just went and got a hotel in August, and was like, Cleveland's going to make it because they're going to win the division,
and hopefully they host.
And if it works out and they host, I'll get to go to these 2 games. If they don't host, then I can maybe go to the Sunday game and drive back overnight to Lincoln for the press conference on Monday.
That's quite a drive.
It would have been horrible.
Yeah.
And it worked out where they played on Thursday and Friday, and then I drove back on Saturday. So
what year was this?
This was 2016.
16.
Yeah.
So
I watched. It was the Andrew Miller year, basically.
Oh yeah.
They brought in Andrew Miller in like the 5th inning of a game, and he just completely shut down the Red Sox. Watched a bunch of home runs get launched into my section in the outfield. Going to a playoff baseball games is incredible. Yeah, it was by myself. I knew nobody there.
That's a great trip.
I got very drunk after the first game and met up with these guys. Basically, just took me to this late night taco spot and
love it.
Like, there's like, you're from Nebraska and you're at this game.
Yeah, I drove here.
What? It's like people treat you so well when they realize that you are a fan of the team. And maybe there's no one else that you know around. And it's like they just take care of you.
Love it.
I've had that experience a couple different times in life, and I'm always blown away at like how good-natured sports fans can be.
Yeah.
When
you're wearing their jersey.
Well, right. Yeah. When you got the right color. But I've been treated pretty well as an opposing fan in most places, other than when I've acted like a jerk, and I deserve to be booed.
That'll happen. Let's take a phone call. We got T-Bone on the line. T-Bone, what's going on?
Hey guys. The only bad thing about moving this slot, I can't call quite as much in, Happer, but glad to hear you with Schaefer. I wanted to put some more context to the 78 game, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So a couple of things. Oklahoma was ranked number 1 in the country, and if you follow Barry Switzer, he has said on many occasions that was his best team he ever had. Of course, they had what we used to call the Four Horsemen with Billy Sims and Kenny King and I forgot the other 2 right now off the top of my head. But They had, and if I could do a fake sip, which I can't, I would tell you about, I think they had 9 fumbles and Nebraska got 6, including on the, when Billy Sims fumbled like on the 6-yard line. But the other thing is, I was actually at the Missouri game all excited, and the weather was miserable. And Rick Burns set the record at that time for the most rushing yards by a Nebraska back, and we still lost when James Wilder just destroyed us. And they had Kellen Winslow and their quarterback who ended up getting drafted in baseball. And after the game, Nebraska had won. I believe Nebraska won the Big 8, and that's why they went to the Orange Bowl. And then they find out the Orange Bowl goes and invite Oklahoma. And Tom Osborne has said on many occasions that was one of his most disappointing moments as a football coach. They were just devastated. They had just beaten them, and now they got to go play them again. A lot of people thought it would be a blowout, but it wasn't. It was actually a pretty good game. I like your idea, Happer, about having a podcast or something, just concentrating on one game. If you ever do, I would love to tell a story about the 1959, which I wasn't there, but I have a friend who was there. That was when Nebraska upset Oklahoma.
Ended the streak.
I think they had a 66-game winning streak.
Yeah. Okay. It's on the list.
Lee Zenick, who used to coach at Lincoln East, I think had the block punt that won the game.
Oh, that's fantastic. T-Bone, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Good stuff.
You bet. Take care, guys.
That's good context for the 78 Oklahoma game, which, of course, has now been the talk of the town because of Schaefer's overheard conversation at a AAA baseball game last night.
I just wanted the context of how it came up in the middle of this game, in which everyone playing would not have been alive.
He's right. He's right, though. I mean, tough draw to get Oklahoma in that game.
Yeah. Well, and I can't say it on air, but the way the guy punctuated the sentence about having to play Oklahoma again is really what made me tweet it in the first place. But yeah, it was just it was incredible.
Okay, so quickly here before we get out of this segment, did you know that they were called the Arizona Coyotes and not the Phoenix Coyotes anymore?
Yeah, they changed that name probably about 5 years ago.
So, yeah.
I've been to a Arizona/Phoenix Coyotes hockey game.
I have been to a Phoenix Coyotes game. That was when they played where the Suns play.
So I went to, they were out in Glendale.
So, yeah. And that's new. That's a really cool area, by the way. It's got a whole bunch of restaurants and outdoor bars and stuff like that.
It was super dead the night we went.
And so that's part of the reason. So they're moving. They're not renewing. The building isn't renewing their deal with the Coyotes because basically they want to attract more events. The building wants to attract more events, concerts, things like that are going to be better for the area, for that little spot they're in right there. So the Coyotes are out of a home. Now it sounds like ownership is going to attempt to keep them in the state of Arizona, whether that's moving to Tempe or back downtown or whatever that might be. But anytime a team needs to relocate, it gets you thinking,
what about Omaha?
What about Omaha? What about Kansas City?
Kansas City would probably make more sense.
So once again, I want to make it clear. It sounds like they're going to try and stay in Arizona, but I feel like Kansas City would be very high on the list for NBA expansion and for NHL expansion.
I have said multiple times, if the NBA moves to Kansas City, I would probably adopt that team.
There's no doubt.
I lost the Sonics when they moved, and I haven't picked a new team since. And I follow the league enough that I would probably at least attempt to be a fan of a regionally close team. I don't know. I would do the same thing with the NHL with Kansas City. But if they were in Omaha, if that somehow ever came together, I would pay attention.
I don't think that I would adopt a hockey team unless it was in Omaha. Like you said,
that's what I mean.
Yeah. I don't think I would just go out of my way to be any hockey team fan.
Kansas City basketball team has me very my friend's dad was a season ticket holder when they were the Omaha Kansas City Kings.
Yeah.
And so he would go to, I don't know where they used to play, but he would go to games there in
Probably
Omaha.
Kemper.
Yeah.
Kemper in Kansas City and then the Civic in Omaha.
Yeah. So that's kind of fascinating to me that they split cities like that.
Yeah.
But,
super weird.
Yeah.
And they had some good players too.
But yeah, it wasn't who was on those teams?
There's one player that's super notable and that we're going to sound like idiots for them not having.
Well, was it Oscar Robertson? Because that was the first name that I thought of, but I don't know.
I don't think it was that big.
No, he never played for the Kansas City Kings.
Now
right.
we're going to sound like idiots.
Yeah, we're idiots. People
Yeah.
are just going to have to accept that.
And as I've said multiple times as this conversation has come up, I think Omaha would be able to actually physically host, be the home of an NHL team. And I think that if they could stretch, they can get an NBA team. They could do an NBA team.
They were in Omaha until 1975. And they played at the Omaha Civic Auditorium, which was actually larger than Municipal, where they played in Kansas City.
Yeah, I think that's the same building. I want to say, I'm not a Kansas City historian, but I think that's the same building.
And it's just nuts.
As I was saying.
Just nuts.
So who'd they have? Who'd they have on their team?
I can't find like rosters. I'm just going through team history right now.
Gotcha.
Who is the greatest of the Kansas City Kings? They could have had any of these guys. Otis Birdsong, JoJo White, Eddie Johnson, Reggie Theus, Nate Archibald. Nate Archibald sounds like it's maybe the guy.
I think that's the one. Yeah.
Because it's Tiny Archibald.
Tiny Archibald.
Yeah. We got Mike back?
Mike's, well, it might be a different Mike.
Could be a different Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Same Mike?
Hey, I don't know if I'm pushing the limits talking twice, but I wanted to add Nate Archibald was the guy. He averaged 34 points a game just off the tip of my tongue. Something like led the NBA in scoring. They had Sam Lacey as center, Scott Wedman, some other guys. What was kind of cool, the reason they started playing in Omaha is when the Kansas City got the Kings, they had a lot of dates they couldn't play, so they asked Omaha. And for 3 years, they were the Kansas City Omaha Kings, and then they took out Omaha, but still played a few games there. And I think the Kings drew pretty well in Omaha, but for the most part, and there was a lot of complaining, they kind of got the garbage games. But I was like 15 or 16, and the last game when they were officially Kansas City Omaha was on national TV against, who was it? Cleveland Cavaliers. And they won on the last second. They blocked a shot that put them in the playoffs. So it was kind of exciting. It was really kind of a cool experience because the NBA back then was so poorly publicized. They used to play their games either on tape delay or if they played them live, it was on a Saturday. Very, very poorly marketed. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Mike. I guess the question that I have then is was there like a real ownership of it from the town? I mean, it's hard.
I don't know on that.
It's KC Omaha. Like, it's not like there's that many Kings fans that are still in Omaha. I don't know that what Omaha's NBA team would even be right now.
This sounds ridiculous, but the NBA, because it was not particularly well liked at that time, would have probably had the same kind of run that the Omaha Lancers had.
Sure.
And so, there you'd have your diehards of it and the people that paid attention, but the NBA in the 70s really up until when network television and Magic and Bird became kind of a thing in the late 70s, early 80s. That's kind of when it took off. But it's fascinating how little people cared about that league, prior to the 80s.
No doubt. Yeah. About the time that,
because, and as Mike said, they used to just tape delay, like games would be played in the afternoon and like at 9 o'clock
no
at
idea
night,
they were happening.
The result would have already been in.
They play in little dumpy arenas.
Right.
And,
in front of like no fans.
In front of no fans, no TV, anything like that. All right, good to go down memory lane a little bit. I guess memory lane for other people. I was born in 1992.
Yeah, we don't have memories of either the Bluebonnet Bowl, the 1978 Oklahoma Orange Bowl,
or the KC Omaha Kings.
Or the KC Omaha Kings. But we're here to talk about it.
But I would love to be a fan of any.
I would, if team. Kansas City and Omaha want to split an NBA team, count me in.
Do it again.
They have better arenas now for it.
Let's take a quick break and we'll round things out next.
More of Happer and Schaefer is coming your way on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Beat the heat and save on a new cooling system from John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Combine new system rebates and LES incentives to save up to $2,500. Don't wait until your old system breaks down in the middle of summer. Take advantage of these great offers and beat the heat. Go to jhlincoln.com or give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
Lay the groundwork for more harvesting capacity when you order a new John Deere combine during Landmark Implement's early order program. Whether you're looking to improve your existing combine or you've been wanting to update to a new model year, now is the time to upgrade. Get the very latest harvesting equipment and technology that fit your operations needs, then get it ordered. You can get your new John Deere combine built just the way you want. Contact your local Landmark Implement for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
New owners means new lunch specials at the Fox Bar and Grill. They've just introduced tons of options on their new under $10 lunch menu. Small nachos grande, a classic cheeseburger, 4 boneless or traditional wings and fries, or a small single topping pizza for just $5 each. Try the mushroom Swiss burger or the pepper jack stack burger for just $6. And for just $7, try any of the classic steak Philly, club wrap, grilled chicken salad, or grilled southwestern salad. It's the under $10 lunch menu at the Fox Bar and Grill, just south of 14th and Pine Lake.
Another packed fall season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Right now, they have tons of Oktoberfest beers, and you can check out their Cosmic Eye and Glacial Till selections as their beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage shop at 1801 O Street.
If you're feeling past your prime with low libido, fatigue, or weight gain, you might be experiencing low T. At Vitalize Health, they can help treat low T and get you back on track. Rami and Jackie have focused their careers on whole body wellness and can help with everything from testosterone replacement to Botox to help the outside match the inside and regain your youthful appearance. Vitalize Health does accept insurance. Call them today at 402-413-0717 or go online to vitalizehealthne.com. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 330 North 48th Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
What is a clinical trial?
They are medical research studies where volunteers receive potential drugs or other study treatments so researchers and healthcare providers can learn how well they work.
What is a COVID-19 clinical trial?
They are for people who have recently tested positive for COVID and can potentially produce treatments to benefit millions of people.
How can you find out more?
CombatCovid.hhs.gov has information on trials for non-hospitalized and hospitalized people with COVID. CombatCovid.hhs.gov.
You're listening to Happer and Schaefer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, just about 1 week in the books for Happer and Schaefer. We patted ourselves on the back during the break. We said it was very successful. And that's the only backing we need, our own.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we're happy with ourselves, what else matters?
That's what I always say. We missed this tweet from earlier from, by the way, great Twitter account, Shangping Appreciation Club.
Shangping is up there amongst the best of the random basketball players of the Doc Sadler era.
No doubt.
I
mean, it's the most random, I think.
I don't know if I think it's the most random, but it's up there. Like, there's some good names that can be thrown in. Miles Hawley always makes me laugh because he was compared to Darvin Ham or Darwin Ham. Or no, maybe it was Corliss Williamson. Doc had the best comparisons. They were always to random Texas Tech players of the early 90s or late 80s. And I was covering the team for the Daily Nebraskan at the time, and it was just like, Every media session over there was always something. They were
Wild.
such a bad team. They were such a bad team.
Reminded you of almost the 70s NBA in some ways.
Basically.
But he said drug-free pledge during the spring game halftime in the 90s was a peak event for 10-year-olds. And he's right. There's still the story about me going on the field for the first time ever, being extremely excited and dropping my Valentino's pizza face flat on the turf. And many thoughts going through my head, at first being mortified that I had ruined the spring game because there was a pizza on the field. And then I remember when everybody kind of cleared out and, you got re-put back in your seats, there was still a pizza there. Like they had to come out and claw the pizza up before halftime ended the spring game.
Who do you think yelled no louder, you that day or Bill Moose in the Minnesota press box?
It was less about
By the way, now that he's no longer the AD, can we just get him to confirm that he was the one that yelled?
It was him.
Brunts and I sat right next to that suite. We heard him.
Oh,
we saw the hand touch the glass when Minnesota's quarterback, I can't even remember his name. He's since transferred, no longer plays quarterback anymore.
Demery Croft.
Yeah, just takes off for another 70-yard run.
Demery Croft actually
and
left.
This is Bill Moose. No! It's like
it's only a Moose.
I just remember thinking this guy is going to have it rough.
Yeah.
He's taking this pretty hard.
Demery Croft left Minnesota that year after he was named the Big Ten Player of the Week for his outstanding performance against Bob Diaco's vaunted 2017 defense, and he left, went to a school that I don't know of. It's definitely a smaller school. Ended up playing tight end. And then maybe ended up getting in trouble after that.
Yeah.
It was a quick downfall for Demery Croft.
Do you want me to look this up to confirm it?
Big Ten Player of the Week against Nebraska.
Look, if you were a Nebraska or if you were a Big Ten offensive player and you played Nebraska in 2017, your stats don't count.
Nope.
They just don't.
They shouldn't.
The amount of highlights in the NFL
Jonathan Taylor
draft.
didn't even go that wild against the
Nebraska played Wisconsin really well that night.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
were
had him tied at
basically-
like halftime.
Wisconsin's sort of go-ahead touchdown came when Luke Gifford got horse-collared by an offensive lineman right in front of the official, and he basically didn't call it. The quarterback, can't even think of
Alex
his name.
Hornibrook.
He's horrible.
Yeah.
He got off like a slant pass and then went for 60-some yards.
I still have
People that the text line will back me up on this. Gifford got absolutely mauled by the right tackle.
I don't remember that
in
at all.
plain sight of everything.
The only thing I remember from that game was Aaron Williams jumping into the end zone after his pick six, and then Jonathan Taylor crushing our souls with the 90-yard drive that ensued that touchdown.
Yeah.
After that touchdown. I still have the picture on my phone of when I walked on the field after that game, and I miraculously caught the Tanner Lee Alex Hornibrook handshake at the end of the game, and I was like, I have to catch this. This is Big Ten history right here. This has to be. So it's still there. It's still on my phone.
Patrick O'Brien got in at the end of that game.
Weird.
Yeah. I did not realize the game started with a pick six from Tanner Lee. I think I had repressed
yeah.
it. I mean, it makes sense in retrospect, but I had
he had a pick six in 3 separate games.
Yeah,
I was just say I'm pretty sure 6 games that
repressed that.
season started with a Tanner Lee pick six.
Oregon definitely started.
Nebraska's defense played really well for most of that game until the fourth quarter, and then they just got slaughtered.
The wheels definitely fell off.
Yeah.
That's the game that we were talking about before, and you were saying how there's definitely going to be a point where Wisconsin rips off like a 90-yard drive, and you're just going to be sitting there thinking,
the soul crusher.
This is how we die.
On 3rd and 4 from the Wisconsin 45, Hornibrook completes a pass to Quintez Cephas for 31 yards. I guarantee that's the play.
There you go.
We'll find it in the highlights. Luke Gifford got mauled.
That game,
I want justice.
And that game was so funny because Nebraska had obviously had a tough start to their season. They lost to Oregon, they lost to Northern Illinois, and then they came back and started 2-0 at conference play. I think they beat Rutgers in Illinois, and it was like, hold on, they got a chance here. They're 3-2, but we're 2-0 in the league. Here comes Wisconsin. We're honoring the '97 team. It'll be really fun, and we were talking about good crowds the other week, like loud crowds. That was a good one for half of the game. And then, as each of the Wisconsin games have been. Basically.
And then they rip off their 90-yard drive and everybody goes silent.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, soul crusher drive, and that's pretty much it.
Do they have a soul crushing running back this year?
No, that's the great part about Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's sort of what makes them more gettable than most years. And I don't think their defense is.
If they can't crush our soul, they can't win the game.
Unless Jalen Berger turns into soul crusher.
Jalen Berger has potential, but I think they were pretty disappointed in what they saw of him last year. But it's a new year.
I'm intrigued by the Jalen Berger Graham Mertz combo, but I think they were both kind of weird. The Burger Mertz.
the Jalen Berger Graham Mertz combo sounds like a McDonald's special meal.
Yeah, I'd like the Jalen Berger Graham Mertz combo, please. Yeah, a Diet Coke. I'm watching my face.
Is that like the Saweetie meal?
I was gonna make it. I gotta just.
Do you know who Saweetie is?
No. The meal.
I don't know who Saweetie is.
The meal is pretty much what I would want to get from McDonald's, though. It's a Big Mac and like nuggets.
Yeah, but you have to put your barbecue sauce or ketchup on top of the Big Mac.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Those are the rules.
1 week down.
Ready to go.
Bach and Nick are up next from McKinney's. We'll talk to you later.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, are you there?
I sure am, Charlie.